I do not know the midget stripper.
I got a question for how would you brand her if she came to you?
A midget stripper?
Yeah. Shout out to Lil Steph.
Discipline is what's going to make sure that you do it no matter what.
Like me giving up on TikTok.
Yeah. Hey, man, TikTok, man. They kicked me off for some Y'all don't want to hear that story.
We do want to hear that story. How do you get kicked off of TikTok?
I have all of the business that I did at Interscope. That was definitely a highlight. You know, working with my mentor was a highlight. Working with my artist, Verse the Legend, getting him his first Billboard plaque. You know, that was huge. I mean, that was a big thing. He was number 24 on the Billboard, on top 100 Billboard.
Nice.
That was huge. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And you know, Las Vegas Entrepreneurs Magazine, top 40 under 40 entrepreneur. That was huge. That was huge for myself. That was huge for Mozzie VS. That was huge for Verse the Legend. So not only was I getting myself, you know, I was making sure that my artists were, you know, getting the recognition for what they were working on, and all of that reflects the brand. You know, so once I, you know, I put out a lot of press for Verse. Verse did very well last year. Like I said, after the Billboard happened, it was just like everything was on fire. You know what I'm saying? A few other artists I was working with, they opened up for the Super Bowl.
Hello, family and friends. Welcome to another Talks with Lemonade. This is available to the billions around the world on YouTube in 4K and audio streaming services like Pandora, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify. If you like this content, please subscribe, like, comment, and share. And now onto the podcast. Yeah, I guess we'll just start.
I don't know if Hillary's doing anything currently.
I haven't heard anything in a long time about Hillary Clinton.
Like if she's retired, then does it matter? It's like if you pull somebody out of the game, but they ain't playing anyway.
She was. I would say she almost got there.
She almost got the White House.
Yeah.
Horseshoes and hand grenades.
Yeah. That's the only time close matters.
Yeah.
All right, G6 in the house. Thank you for this opportunity. We're just going to roll in and just talk. So tell us about your business, how it got started, and some of the achievements you got.
Yeah, man, G6 here. I appreciate you guys for having me. MoneyTrain Management is a company I've had up now for about going on 5 years, you know, in curation for the last maybe 6 or something like that. But
I like the sound of that.
Yeah, man, nothing stops the money train. So, you know, that's kind of been the motto of everything, just pushing the culture in Vegas, you know, pushing all of the marketing and branding and, you know, promoting a lot of artists and things like that. So, yeah.
So MoneyTrain primarily is a promotion company, or how would you describe it?
Management consulting. I would say management consulting. You know, so I consult a lot of artists. I consult a lot of creators, you know, things like that, and help market and things like that. Just put everybody. Vegas needs that. I feel like Vegas doesn't with the creators. A lot of people aren't putting the creators and putting the artists in certain positions. So that's what I'm here for. I'm an executive artist as well, you know. So it's like I make music as well. So that's I kind of switch lanes and said,
nice.
Fuck it,
is it primarily music, or do you get into other?
I get into other things. A lot of my artists actually, you know, they're creators and they are authors and things like that as well. So, you know, and, you know, you can kind of reverse engineer everything, and, you know, it's the same machine. You know, everybody needs press, everybody needs marketing, everybody needs branding. We're out here on this, you know, podcast.
Yeah, me too.
Like that. Hey, I can help, man. I can help, man. Whatever you guys need, man. Let's grow the vibe. Let's grow the vibe. Let's grow the brand.
I need rich people to find this realtor.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, there you go. No, I've actually dealt with a couple realtors as well. You know, helping them with press and things like that.
Nice.
And, you know, like I said, everybody needs press now. That's the new vibe. Everybody's trying to grow their brand. So that's what it is. How long you been doing real estate?
Here in Vegas, I think it's just over 5 years now. I was licensed in San Diego in California.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I came from LA. Well, San Diego. But I was actually out in Dago not too long ago. Dago's popping, man. I like the vibe.
If you can afford it, it's beautiful.
Yeah. I heard it gets a little crazy.
Yeah.
What are some of the big clients or the biggest clients that you're working with right now?
Mozzie VS, that's my guy. He's a sports betting king as he goes by. SBK, shouts out to Mozzie. He's been doing a lot. I've worked with, he'd probably be the biggest one as like right now that we've been working hands on. That's my guy.
I checked his Instagram, man. He's throwing some like $150,000, $250,000 bets on the line.
Yeah, it's not a game. It's not a game, man. That's what he does. And like I said, I've never seen anybody do it to that level, you know, and with the results, his results is crazy. You know, I've never seen anybody getting checks from the casinos, you know, $1 million checks from the casino. So you know, he's very trusted in the city. You know, I haven't heard any bad reviews, so he's been doing his thing.
Tony, you're only betting in the 20,000s. Is that your limit?
Nah, man. I ain't got no luck but bad luck.
I was gonna say, you betting in the 20,000s, man. We're doing something good.
Nah,
man.
I wish.
$20,000 bet, Tony, man.
Yo, I can't even win a damn doll and little with a carnival with my son. So I can't be putting no money on the table like that. You know,
it's a different sport.
I'll let Mozzie do that.
Yeah.
I just, you know, like I said, I just support him and help him.
We got Joe logging in from
I should be
Portland.
here, I think.
Yeah, you sound good.
What's going on, Joe?
What up, man? How are you?
I'm good. How are you, man?
Pretty good.
You do any sports betting, Joe?
No. I don't know anything about sports betting, so I let people make my picks for me whenever I do.
That's what Mozzie's for, man. He'll make the pick for you, man. That's what he does. That's what he does.
What's Mozzie's secret? Or I mean, I'm guessing that's his. Obviously, that's his
tell
doing.
the secret.
But from what you know from the outside, what do you think?
I know. I wouldn't say secrets. I'm sure. He has inside information. You know, just like any other person that's on that level. But what he does is what I appreciate that he does is he tells everybody, you know, bankroll management. You know, he doesn't want everybody to just go crazy. He's like, you know, everybody's on a certain level. So I believe he gives good tips. You know, he's not just trying to take your money. You know, he's good financially. So it's not about money with him. It's about, you know, everybody feeling comfortable and just coming out on top. That's what he's about, because it's his brand. So, you know, he's making picks for you, and it's not just making picks for him. And a lot of people just make picks. He actually is betting as well. So It's like he's not going to tell you something that he's not doing. You know what I'm saying? So it's very trusted when it comes to that.
Yeah, I think on his either YouTube or Instagram, there was some where he was showing like the $250,000 bet where he's recording him getting out of the car, walking to the casino.
Yep.
He has like in his backpack or his briefcase or whatever, like a chunk of money.
Yep.
Walks up to the cage.
He shows the whole process. He shows the whole process, and that's what's going to make people believe. You can't front that. You can't make that up.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
He'll show the whole process. He'll tell you this is what's going on. Then he'll tell you, you know, this is what you got to do. This is how you get in contact with me. This is the website, and then he'll go through the whole process, and you know he'll document it as well. So that's what it's about. You gotta document the process so people believe it.
What marketing are you helping him with? Is it the Instagram part, or is there other pieces?
With press, I help him with a lot of press. We do a lot of videos, like book him a lot of podcasts and things like that. So just get him out and get him more acclimated so people can actually see him, you know, as another side of that, as opposed to just him doing that. So when he gets out of that, that's what I'm here for. I'm here so he can get on podcasts and just kind of blow up, get him on magazines and things like that.
What are some of the magazines and radio stations that you've gotten some of your clients on?
Well, Mozzie in particular, he did, you know, Jake Gallen's, shout out to Jake Gallen. He did Angie Martinez, a lot of, basically everything in Vegas, you know, all of the top 25 out here in Vegas. I've booked them on basically, I'd say almost 10, maybe a little less than 10 of those. Yeah. Oh, I also booked him out in San Diego. Shouts out to my guy Oso with the Spotlight Show. I booked him out there. So yeah, that's a few. I can book him. You know, I book a lot of my other artists at, you know, iHeartRadio, things like that. So
yeah, we got Jake and Angie on this podcast.
Oh, for sure. There you go.
Jake's
I saw Jake and Angie on there. Yeah,
Jake's doing. It looks like he's growing pretty fast.
Yeah, for sure. I linked up with Jake in a year's time. Last year we linked up, man. You know, shouts out to Jake, and you know, just the growth. We both been working with each other, and then I started booking him on different podcasts as well. Same with Angie, because you know that's kind of, you know, my money train moves. You know, it's like once I link up with different, you know, most podcasters in the beginning, Angie did, like in particular, she didn't even see it like that. Like, oh yeah, people actually want to, you know, see me and hear from me. So it's like, yeah, same thing with Jake, you know. So once they started moving, I mean, things started happening. You know, Jake, when I first met Jake last year, I think he might have had a little over 1,000 followers. Now I think he's almost at like 10,000. So we've been doing a lot, and I've been booking a lot of clients, a lot of my artists and a lot of clients on his show and Angie's show as well. So we've been working hand in hand, you know, just like I said, building the city, you know, just putting things together. You know, that's what it's about. When we're all creatives, let's just put it together, you know.
What do you think about paying for advertisement through like YouTube? So I started playing around with some of the YouTube videos, and they have this. You could advertise your video where it's something like whatever you put your budget, like $1 a day, $5 a day, 10. I don't know, probably unlimited.
This is on YouTube.
On YouTube,
not
yeah.
Instagram, okay. I'm not sure, because Instagram does the same thing. Like, you know, you can do it on their thing. So you're saying on YouTube, you've just been getting ad space.
I think it's when you pay for that. So on either the front landing page of YouTube, you could get posted up there as a featured or a top suggestion, or if someone watches a video, I think at the end, at the bottom right or the right side, it could put your video there.
What do I think about it? I think that's smart. I think that's what you should be doing. I think at the end of the day, you should be investing in yourself, and however you can get yourself out there, do it, because that's the only way people are going to hear about you. I would say a lot of people don't really understand how much it takes, as opposed to, a lot of people think viral is a thing, or you just post something and it kind of pops off. It doesn't work like that. It's a lot of marketing. It's a lot of marketing budgets and things like that go behind it. That's why I like working behind the scenes, so I could see more of what's pushing everybody to the forefront. It's not just a hit record. It's not just, a dope talk show or a dope podcast. It's a lot that goes behind that. So marketing, that's smart. I would say invest more in that.
Or have you seen on Instagram, like it is like a $1 per view, or cent? Is it 5 cents per view, or how's Instagram work on that one?
When it comes to marketing and promotions?
Yeah.
Well, what you can do on Instagram, the basic one, if you post a picture, you see on the picture that you post, it'll say, if you want to boost it, you can or post this. A lot of people don't even do that. You can do that, like you said, $1, $5, and it'll show you. It'll show you the scale. Like $1 will get you 200 more views. $5 might get you 1,000 views and things like that. So, I mean, that's one way of going about it. There's also, you can go to digital marketers and things like that. You can come to MoneyTrain Management. I can set you up. I work with, one of the top teams out here in Vegas, basically the number one team, in digital marketing out here in Vegas. And we go behind the scenes. You're an engineer and stuff, so we kind of go behind the scenes and we start doing what we got to do to get you popping. So yeah.
I have a friend that works in, I think it's banks. He's advertises for banks, but they use like big data. So they'll pay Google, from what I hear, something like $10,000 a month for the Google data. So Google knows a 26-year-old female just search for this term, and then there's 10,000 others in that city. So if that bank makes a advertisement that happens to tailor towards 26-year-old females, then they have that data and they could pay for it. So I was talking about my podcast, because mine's a lot smaller right now. And I was like, so what do you suggest? He's like, well, unfortunately, I'm just kind of telling a story. If you think of anything.
No, I'm listening. This is what I'm glad this is what we're diving into, because this is what I want a lot of artists and upcoming people to understand. And keep going, man.
So he said, everyone's doing it.
Yep.
If you don't pay to play, you're pretty much, you're not going to exist.
Yes, sir.
And I was like, damn. He's like, yeah, even as little as 5 cents, 2 cents, whatever it is, everyone's paying.
Yeah, everyone's paying for everything. I mean, it's just, you at this point, you damn near paying to breathe. You're paying for air. What everything in life costs. These coffee mugs, all of the things that I'm watching that you branded. It costs money for you to make that T-shirt. It costs money for you to put this on these mugs. So like I said, that's what it is. It's really about that. It's about marketing. It's about investing in yourself. And $10,000 a month, I mean, that's a substantial budget. That's right there. That's where it's at. For people that want to start doing, like, need management, things like that, for me to book them on podcasts and me to get them press and stuff like that, I would say $25 to $3,000 a month is a great start. Like, it might sound like a lot to people if you don't got your shit together, but if you got your shit together, that's nothing.
Yeah.
So we're talking about in social media that it's not just fun and viral and whatever's happening. It's a business, and we're pushing to promote. We're paying to advertise, like billboards, and to get the views and
for sure, and press, and make sure you guys make sure you guys get press. That's a lot of people don't understand that, the road to getting more views and the road to getting, more recognition is press. And it's just like you were talking about. So, when I was a kid, when we were kids, you see somebody do something or they get press, you think that they did whatever they did and it just happened. No. Somebody paid for that.
And no overnight success stories.
There's no overnight success stories, and somebody paid for that. Like also for artists, if you see something you're in New York, you see something on, Times Square. I mean, shit, that costs about $70,000 just for, an hour, a couple hours or something like that. So press is, you got to pay. Like you said, you got to pay to play. That's definitely what it is. And marketing yourself and having that budget and having that confidence in yourself, because that's all it's about. All of these like outlets that we see, these platforms that we see, they put a lot of money behind it, and like I said, I'm sure Jake, I know Jake invested in his platform to watch himself grow. I know Angie invested in herself to watch, and it happens. You watch it grow from, even with followers, the word organic, and it's one of those things. It's like, be authentic in what you're doing. But I mean, organic, everybody's paying for everything, whether it's followers, whether it's views and all of that type of stuff. And that's the road to even getting verified. You know, you need press behind it, because that's what the verification is. It's telling you, verification is really saying this, you are who you say you are. So how are they going to know? They have to go and find different outlets that have press about you. Just like, you know, I just saw Jake, you know, he got press in Forbes, you know, shout out to Jake. So it's like, now when he's trying to get verified, they're going to go check, who's this Jake Gallen guy? So they're going to go check, oh, he's got Forbes, he's got this, he's got that.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about.
What are some of the cheaper options for somebody starting out?
Well, those options.
What's the stepping stones?
Well, those options are not they're not that expensive. You know, like if you're talking about 1 or 2 cents, I don't know about the 1 or 2 cents, but when it comes to like with artists and stuff like that, what I would say, you know, you do a press release, maybe 1 or 2 press releases a month, and you know those press releases range anywhere from $300 to, you know, if you want an upper echelon, you know, Associated Press, it might hit you for $1,000 or something like that. But you know, $200-$300, you know, people, you spend that on sneakers, you know. So why wouldn't you invest that in your brand?
That's going out on the wire.
Going out on the wire? What do you mean?
Like press wire, you know how they have.
Oh yeah, exactly. That's like, you know, different. You know, whether you can have it out in London, you can have it on the LA Times, you know, any press, you know. So that stuff, it's not as expensive as you think. You know, like I said, $200. I would say do 1 or 2 a month, you know, and then by the end of that year, you could be verified. A lot of people don't even realize that's the road to verification. That's what they're checking. They're verifying that. And how do they know who you are? They have to go through other outside sources that are credible.
Yeah.
You know, so that's how they figure it out. A lot of people just think
that's a good insight. That's a good
wisdom. A lot of people think the blue check just comes out of nowhere or something, you know, just like press comes out of nowhere. It doesn't. You got to pay for that. You got to pay to play. Also,
I got to start buying better sneakers.
That too. And putting up good content, you know, like I said, content, marketing yourself, promoting. Like I said, you guys that's how I caught wind of it. You guys have a great, you know, this is a great platform. You guys put everything together well, you know. And like I said, you had my people up here, you know, you had Angie and Jacob here. So I was like, okay, cool, you know.
Nice.
And that's when I sensed you that I was actually on their platform. I was like, you got to rock with me, you know.
Yeah.
It's dope.
What are some things that people should have together before they contact you? Meaning, so they either have a product, a business, or content that they're creating.
Yeah.
Where have people contact you and they didn't have certain things in place that you wish they had in place?
If they don't say those 3 again.
So if they just had a product or a business, and if they contact you, what should they have in place before they contact you to advertise better or to advertise more?
Belief in their brand. They need to have belief in their brand. You know, you don't need $1 million. You don't need $100,000, but believe in your brand, because if I know that you believe in it, then now I can go, you know, because as management, I'm here to help your expectations. It's not my job. It's not my drive. It's not, you know, I'm going to go as hard as you're going to push yourself. So really have real self-belief, you know, believe in what you stand for. If this is what you're about, then I'm going to see that and I'm going to go above and beyond, you know. Make sure you have a budget, you know what I'm saying? Because we all got to eat. We all got to take care of the family. And as long as you have a little bit of budget, you have a brand, you have a vision. I need vision and belief so I can know which direction to steer, you know, this ship. So,
have you ever had to turn someone down?
Have I had to, honestly, I'm here to help. So I really haven't turned, because, you know, people are smart, you know, they're not going to come to me. They see, you know, the same way I'm looking at platforms, they see my brand and they're like, I'm not going to come in with no bullshit. So I really haven't had to turn anybody down. I kind of would just, redirect them. I would redirect them, you know, and say, okay, well, you might not be ready for this. So maybe I'll redirect them to something else.
Smart.
Yeah, because you never know, you know what I'm saying? You know, life, anything, everything comes back full circle. We're all in the same space in some way.
Yeah, but you're saying, hey, there's a better fit.
Yeah, it's a better fit, because that's what I'm here to do. I'm not here to, you know, crash anybody's dreams, you know what I'm saying? It took me a while to really understand how this works, you know, and that's through trial and error, you know?
Yeah.
I don't want people to
come up here with that bullshit.
Right. And I save them that, you know what I'm saying? I don't want you to make the certain, you know, I made certain mistakes and I learned from those mistakes, and I had to go through life experience. You know, nothing's a better teacher than life experiences. So I had to go through all those life experiences. So that's what most people don't realize you're paying for. You're paying for my life experiences. You're paying through the things that I have to go through, you know, even if it takes me 5 seconds to do something that might take you a year.
Yeah.
So.
For life experiences, tell me some of yours. So where did you either learn some of this stuff? Where did you go to school, or where did you pick up the knowledge to do this?
Man, not in school, you know. That's definitely. I mean, in a sense, just based on, being, when you're in school and you just, I have that, when you have that factor, so in school, if you're always around, I'm from LA, I went to Beverly Hills High School, things like that. So it's like, I've always been in the mix. I always played sports. So, I've always been, popular and things like that. So, that's life experience that teaches you that, that's how you want to go about it. But learning actually the business, I had a mentor at Interscope that kind of showed me, gee, this is how this works. Like, what I'm saying? Don't think that these artists, they just blowing up and things like that. Like, so, my mentor, he was kind of really the one that showed me like, yo, everybody got to pay to play. This is, so it always comes back to that. I'm glad you said it early. So we're going to say that throughout the whole damn interview. Like, yes, but everybody needs mentorship too. So I would say like my life experiences come through that, from somebody actually showing me hands-on, like this is how it works. So once he kind of showed me, and he put me on my first nationwide interview tour. So once I got in that, and I was like, okay, I went from different outlets, and I started getting the reception, and then people started hitting me back, and I started understanding, oh, okay, this is how it works. So that's, just mentorship and things like that. But yeah, definitely my mentor.
What's Interscope? Is that a
Interscope, the record label?
Oh, I'm stupid.
Hip hop record label.
He's an engineer, people.
Exactly.
Software engineer.
Right. Software engineer, not producer engineer.
So did you work there, or were you like?
No, I just had a great relationship with my partner, things like that. So he would always see me, and he was just like, man, I like the way you move. Most things kind of happen like that. I know Tony, you say you're in acting and things like that.
I mean, I produced a film festival.
Okay, well you're in film, but a lot of like I said, I'm in acting as well. So it's a lot of things kind of happen organically like that.
Yeah.
Somebody will see you like, hold up, I like the way that you move. What are you up to? And I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do that, I'm trying to do this. But he's seeing the ambition, and he's seeing how I'm moving about it. But he's like, this needs more synergy. You need a better direction in how you want to do this. You know what I'm saying? So compartmentalize this, and then go full force. So that's kind of how that happened.
Adding to that, internships are very important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of, when you think about it, that's kind of what a mentorship was kind of, because I wasn't getting paid or anything like that, and he was just showing me this is what you go
showing
through.
You the science behind it.
Showing me the ropes behind the business. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, that first the first nationwide interview tour that I did in 2019, that's what set my whole that kind of set up everything that I have going now. As far as this is like my third year going on the nationwide interview tours, because I've been doing it myself now. So I've been booking other artists, booking myself, even through the the pandemic. Man, when people, that's what changed the game, because when most people everybody was doing Zoom calls, I was like, fuck that. I don't, because artists need this, and we need to be in person, and we need, people, you can kind of get a vibe. No diss to my guy Joe, but you can't feel you can't feel if I was to do a Zoom call, you know what I'm saying? So Joe, I gotta meet you so you can see me in person, you can feel this energy. Because they understand the energy, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I was doing for my artists. I would like, they need that, especially at that time. A lot of things were shut down. They couldn't travel, they couldn't move the way they wanted to move. So I was going regardless, and I had some nice connections where I could still make moves. I was on planes when no one was on the plane, just to to go to San Diego and things like that, just to make it happen, just so people see. And I garnered so many clients, because they were like, damn, like he's moving at a time where no one's moving. That's what made clients believe in me and my abilities, because it's like Jordan, the flu game. You know what I'm saying? If you doing things in immeasurable odds, drastic situations, it's like, when everything is good, he's really going to hit them shots. So like that changed a lot. That was a real game changer.
Maybe another stupid question, like what's Interscope, but what's you said interview tour, so a
nationwide interview tour. Basically just going on different platforms, like what I'm doing now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Nationwide though.
Gotcha.
So nationwide, going on different platforms.
Were you promoting the brand, or you promoting artists?
I was in the beginning, I was promoting myself. I was promoting myself. I always was managing and consulting and things like that. But the more, basically in the beginning, people want to see you build yourself before, like, they're not going to believe in you until they can see you perform. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like 50 would always say, they're not going to believe in my soldiers or believe in my artists until they see me solidified, So that's kind of what I worked on first. I was pushing music that I was working on, and I was pushing my brand, So once my brand was garnering a lot of love and a lot of attention, and I was like, okay, now I feel comfortable helping other artists, and they felt comfortable, like, okay, I trust you with my career. I trust you with certain things that I'm working on.
What are some of the highlights that you've had in the last 3 years?
Oh man, all of the business that I did at Interscope, that was definitely a highlight. You know, working with my mentor was a highlight. Working with my artist, Verse the Legend, getting him his first Billboard plaque. You know, that was huge. I mean, that was a big thing. He was number 24 on the Billboard, on top 100 Billboard.
Nice.
That was huge. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And you know, Las Vegas Entrepreneurs Magazine, top 40 under 40 entrepreneur. That was huge. That was huge for myself. That was huge for Mozzie VS. That was huge for Verse the Legend. So not only was I getting myself, you know, I was making sure that my artists were, you know, getting the recognition for what they were working on, and all of that reflects the brand, you know. Yeah. So once I put out a lot of press for Verse. Verse did very well last year. Like I said, after the Billboard happened, it was just like everything was on fire. You know what I'm saying? A few other artists I was working with, they opened up for the Super Bowl. It's a lot. I mean, I could stay here all night talking about the things that I did in the last 3 years. You know what I'm saying? For sure.
What are some of the challenges you see with your clients if they're trying to expand?
A lot of the challenges, I would just say variable change. You know, a lot of things that just happen in the moment, and if something happens in the moment, they might not be able to adapt to it. So, like I said, the pandemic, you know, things like that. When the pandemic hit, a lot of people didn't really know how to shift.
Gotcha.
That's why I had to take it upon myself to really go above and beyond, you know. And I also linked up with, you know, private investors. You know, that was something huge. That also goes under the, you know, like something that I did that was huge in the last 3 years. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with Entourage, or you might
the
TV show,
yeah. and the movie and the film.
Yeah.
So you remember in the film when Ari had to go to see Billy Bob Thornton and get the.
Actually, I didn't see the film.
I know the film didn't get good reviews.
Yeah, I used to watch the show.
Okay, but a lot of people, you know, like I said, once again in film, you understand film. A lot of people don't understand. You have to go and deal. You know, they have to go and get that money for those films. You know, where it come from. So, just, you know, short story. Ari basically went out to Billy Bob Thornton. He was one of the big guys, and he was calling it like Texas and shit kicker land. You know what I'm saying? And he had to go get a lot of money. He had to go get like $100 million and things like that. So I didn't go get that much money, but I had some business partners. Oh, that was also something I did. I had some business partners. Well, I'll get to that. So I went out to Indiana and I linked up with some business partners that actually believed in me, and they wanted to invest in their videography business, and they wanted me to help manage that. So what I did was I fused Verse the Legend. He was the artist, and I fused the videographer and said, well, why don't we do this? Why don't we have, since you want to get back out there, we'll have you filming him on the nationwide interview tour. So it made sense for everybody. You know, you want to get back out there and do what you got to do. And they were all about that. So we partnered up, and I went out there, you know, got a budget, which was dope, and came back, and that started the nationwide interview tour that I did for Verse in 2020, which led into 2021. So
how many stops did you do, or how many cities on that tour?
On that tour, we did Indiana, we did Chicago, we did Texas, we did LA, and we did Vegas. Because I always want to start with five cities, 5 city tour. So we did 5. No, we did 5. Yeah, and then we did San Diego too.
So you did the good cities.
I did all the good cities, right? I did all the good cities. Yeah, for sure.
You ain't hit New York.
Yeah. No, I didn't hit New York. I didn't hit New York. Well, because once again, during the pandemic, New York was crazy. You know, I also hit places that were more, I don't know if liberals the right, you know, they were just more lenient, or they were more flexible, you know, so they weren't on the Zoom calls. I did a few that were in like Philly and stuff like that, but they were Zoom calls. So I mean, you know, I guess you can count that, but you know, like I actually went to.
You was getting some East Coast burn. That's
yeah. But I actually went to the places that I named. So yeah, that was dope. That was for sure dope, and that's what it's about. That was also me learning, like, okay, cool. Now more people are investing in, you know, those investors. Those were billionaires, you know, most definitely. You know, shouts out to, you know, those billionaire investors. You know, you got to keep the investors under wraps, but. You know, so that was something new for me, you know, as far as, you know, like I said, I grew up in Beverly Hills, things like that. So I was familiar with, you know, billionaires and things like that, but actually working with them with budgets and things like that. And they was down to earth. They were cool, and they understood my vision, you know, and I understood what they wanted. So that was dope. I got that client on Yahoo Finance. So that was dope. I did some press for them, things like that. So that was crazy.
So you got Jim Irsay on speed dial with the
Who?
Colts?
Oh yeah, nah. I need that. If you got the plug on that, Tony, you know what I mean.
I ain't got that
Let
plug,
me
but
know.
I figured you was out in Indy, so
Yeah,
you know.
I was only out there. I was only out there for like less than a week, you know. And they put me up right, man. I was at the India. It was at the Marriott out there, things like that. So they took care of me, man. They took care of me. So that was dope, you know. So once that was a different. As of 2019, I was moving like that. 2020. As you can see, you know, MoneyTrain, it kind of shifted and really got huge, you know. And I'd already knew, you know, Mozzie and other clients and artists and stuff like that beforehand. So it was like once I came back and put everything together, it's been crazy, man. It's been crazy. It's a beautiful thing, man. Very blessed for sure.
Are you noticing like any differences in like the different markets or?
Oh yeah, you can. Oh, for sure, man. Like I said, a lot of people, they're not really moving as much. I'm surprised that I don't want to say surprised because I feel like I definitely had a hand in it, but you know, Vegas is really stepping it up as far as this space. You know, a lot. Like when I first wanted to start booking interviews and things like that, it was a lot of interviews you could book in LA. You know, I was also at Dash Radio. Shouts out to Dash Radio. You know, shouts out to DJ Ski at Dash Radio. I hope y'all know because Liam's looking at me like, what the fuck are you talking about? He's like,
Yeah, totally.
He's like, yeah, Dash, yeah, you know, the 40 yard.
Well, I feel like these days there's so much out there that it's impossible. You know, I'm not a huge hip hop fan. I'm not a huge heavy metal fan. I'm not a huge country fan. You know, so any world, any interest, there's a whole universe of things to know and follow. So if you mention things I'm not familiar with, I'm not surprised.
Right. That's just like you talking about real estate, man. I'm just gonna be like, yeah, I understand houses.
Real estate's good.
Real estate's good.
Get as much as you can.
Get the bag. But yeah, you can definitely tell the different markets. You know, LA was hit very hard when it came to that pandemic. You know, as you know, being in the film industry, you know, so that's why a lot of people shifted to Netflix, and Hollywood wasn't Hollywood anymore. And that, I mean, they were already making that shift anyway, you know, Netflix, Hulu, Peacock.
Yeah, the paradigm shift. Yeah.
That paradigm shift was there. And, you know, and everything is YouTube savvy and things like that. So yeah, that's different, but I'm proud of Vegas, man, for really stepping it up as far as the entertainment is concerned. Like, just because this is still a form of entertainment, you know, no matter how you slice it, people are trying to be entertained, you know, whether it's an hour conversation or what have you. But
I think Vegas is transitioning to entertainment, especially on the Strip, because the Strip used to be gambling and some other bullshit to get you in there to gamble. But I think with the newer generations, there's less and less gambling, you know, per person, per capita, per, you know.
Yeah. And that's also something else that's like Vegas was just known for the Strip. That's another reason why it's very hard for there to be a breakout artist in LA as far as hip hop. That's just known for being I'm from, you know, how we know, you know, Snoop's from LA or we know 50's from New York.
Right.
Very hard for, you know, somebody to just kind of put Vegas on their back and just kind of, because Vegas, it's like, how do you become bigger than this is what it's known for? Like, that's just what it is. It's known for the casino, the Strip, and all that type of stuff. You know, if you ask somebody, they don't care about Red Rock. They don't care about, you know, going on a hike or going to the snow or things like that. They want to go they want to go to the casinos. They want to go to the strip clubs. So, you know, it's dope. Like I said, I've been out here for, I moved out here in 2016. So I've been out here for 6 years now.
Yeah.
And it's dope that the entertainment aspect of it and the studios and things like that. Like, just, I didn't realize when I first moved from 6 years ago to now, it's way more studios, you know, it's way more entertainment studios, you know. Shouts out to ML Billion, you know, and Billions team. That's something else that I did in the last 3 years. You know, I'm executive lifestyle brand for his brand. And, you know, I remember when I first met Billion, he was just, you know, pulling up in Lambos and things like that. And he just had the emblem of his brand on his car. And he wasn't really savvy, you know, with Instagram and things like that. And he was like, he used to call me 24/7G. Like, man, you know, you always post and snap. Just like when I first got here, I was like, man, we already got to go. I'm trying to get my snaps in. So he would always know, like, G, you know what I'm saying? Like, I like the way that you move. I like the way that you know, I saw that, like, when Snapchat first came out. And I was just like a daily documentary, everything. I'm brushing my teeth. I'm, you know what, getting ready, you know what I'm saying? The ladies got to see it. My partners got to see me moving. And when I first started linking up with him, you know, we worked on that. And, you know, now he's got a film studio. He's also got 2 production studios as well. So just to see Vegas really moving in that, like, you know, that's what it should be. It's all this open land and things like that. So it's like that's what it really should be about, and everybody's down for it. You know, a lot of more creatives, a lot of entertainment. That's not just strip entertainment.
What made you move out to Vegas? Was there a strategic reason or
just opportunity? I had a partner that was working in the clubs, and I literally just came out here. Just LA, it kind of I've been out in LA forever, so I was like, I already let me blow that popsicle joint. You know what I'm saying? I see some more opportunities, and he was like, he's like, G, the way that you move, you should just start VIP hosting and stuff like that. So I came out just for an opportunity, man. Not a necessity. Yeah. It was definitely strategic because every move, I got a family, so I was like, you got to be strategic and stuff like that. So I came out, I started VIP hosting, and I was VIP hosting I came out in spring break, like around this coming up time, you know what I'm saying, March for spring break, where it's real crazy. And I told myself, I was like, man, I'm only gonna be doing this. I thought I was gonna be doing it for like a couple months. Yeah. And I ended up linking up with ML Billion, and he just seen the way I was moving. One of my partner Jonas, he introduced me, and he was like, yo, man, he likes the way that you move. You should meet him and stuff like that. I met him, and within a month, he was like, man, I want you to be executive lifestyle brand, branded for my company. Nice. So, I mean, that's kind of how that happened,
There's definitely a value to posting all the time and wanting to post all the time. I know as a realtor, if I posted 5 times a day, then I would have more views and more people that know about me and more reminders to everybody and more be on people's radars. But it's
why don't you do it, man? You sent I'm not sure if you don't do it. Your body language.
I don't. Yeah,
so he's like, if I posted more, you should.
Well, so part of it is I'm 44, so I'm used to living a certain way.
Understandable.
Like I walk
into a place. You don't look 44, man.
Thank you. Yeah.
My God.
But I walk into a place and I'm thinking other things. It doesn't occur to me, oh shit, I should put something on, I should send out to the world.
Right. It's a different era.
Yeah.
Right. So you got to get acclimated to that.
I know younger people that they just posting 5 times a day naturally, just whatever happens, they're sharing it. Yeah. And it just doesn't come to me. I'm busy doing what I'm doing.
No, I get it. You should, especially like I said, everything that's in alignment with your business. You
are your brand.
You are your brand.
Yeah. Me? Yeah. Well, I was rehabbing a condo today. So like
you could have posted that whole experience.
Yeah, well, I was busy up on the ladder, fixing the ceiling light, right? So it's like, but
that's where so like if I was management working with you, I would make sure that you had a team that will film you.
Yeah, exactly, right.
Because like there's value in that. Yeah, people want to see that. You know what I'm saying? And everybody doesn't care about the superstar anymore. That's another reason why. Not just like we all know they care about the superstar. But, there's so many engineers, there's so many people that are behind the scenes. And now there's somebody at the house that wanted to, regardless if you believe it or not, at 44, somebody wanted to watch you screw in that light. Somebody wanted to watch you go on that ladder. They want to see the process. That's what I've been noticing is the process. And then, my mom put me on all of these regular people on YouTube that have crazy subscriptions and crazy followings. And they're just living a regular life. You know what I'm saying? And they're posting their kids but it's very regular. I didn't even know that. And I wasn't in tune the same way that you're not in tune with posting. Yeah. I wasn't in tune with that. I didn't know people really cared about just a regular family of, it might be a biracial family and stuff like that. But there's more people everybody's not a superstar. So there's more regular people. So what YouTube kind of opened up is that, hey, 100 million people, there's 100 million regular motherfuckers that just want to watch some regular shit. They don't need to go watch something that's just extraordinary. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I would hire a team. I would say, let's just get somebody that whenever you go do these things on site, let's get somebody that'll come through and film you 20, 30 minutes or what have you. Yeah. I'm sure you got Liem here. He'll help you edit the shit. You know what I'm saying?
He's busy editing this show.
Oh, okay. He's like, yes, no. Get somebody to film that and get an editor, if you don't feel like doing it, you know what I'm saying? And I got that from back in the day, Dame Dash, he would always have the videographer and he would say something. Now somebody needs to film the videographer. To, have somebody shooting the shooter, so to speak. So yeah, the more
another
eyes.
Level.
Hey man, but that's where you want to go. You want to get more eyes on you, more traction. That's what it's about.
More attention.
What do you think kind of built your personality to do this type of business? So was it your upbringing? Was it the college years? What was it?
I always been like this, man. My mom said that when she took me to preschool, and I was like, right when I let her hand go, I was out. So I just always been like that. I just always been outspoken, you know, want to have a good time for the life of the party, things like that, you know, very personable. You know, like I said, I feel like I already know y'all, you know, you just chilling. That's
Yeah,
just,
you're a good guy. Yeah.
That's just, you know, it's, you know, so the it factor, not the swag, you know, swag can be bought, you know what I'm saying? Just that, you know, we come from the it factor, you know, you either have it or you don't. So just, it's kind of that. I've just always kind of had that. And then once again, that's where I'm, you know, I met Verse, you know, I met Mozzie, I met a lot of these people just being out, you know, partying and things like that. And it's just, you know, when that happens authentic and that happens organically, then the, you know, the relationship when it comes to the business, it's just even better, you know? So yeah, it's always just been in me, man. You're not on me. It might look like it's on me, but it's in me too. You know what I mean? It was definitely.
I mean, it's you doing what you love, and that's what's going to shine through for people to see.
Sure,
you know? That's where that authenticity come from, you know? And people love that. And as you were saying, there's a niche for everything now with YouTube, the advent of YouTube, Netflix. I had one of my peoples back in New York would talk about like, I'm gonna make a movie. I don't know if it's gonna get distribution, but there's a late night spot somewhere, and I'm gonna be on it. I'm gonna be on it. Whether it's
That's
Netflix,
absolutely true too. Yeah,
you know,
That's real.
there's something. There's a spot at 3 a.m. in China. They need a movie. I'm that dude for now.
And that's the type of vision and that's the type of drive. See, I would already want to work with him just because he believe in it. You know what I'm saying? That's just like, you know, Kanye's coming out with his new documentary Genius, and it's like, you know, people they might not have believed in it then.
They going on episode 2.
Right, there you go. But they believe now, you know what I'm saying? So that's what it is, you know. People can talk about, you know, him and all of that stuff, but if you believe you're a genius, if you believe that you understand it, then I'm gonna believe, you know. How else am I gonna believe if you don't believe? So that's what it is for sure. And like I said, we also shot a short film, it was like a docuseries that we were working on. Shouts out to my guy Irv the God. Shouts out to Style Poe. We shot that last year, and shouts out to Skeeter Jones. You know, he was he directed that, and you know, he also shot that as well. It was a dope story about my guy Irv. He's from New York, you know, and it was about his life, and it was kind of like a spinoff of his life and things like that, and things he went through, and him coming up. But you know, we threw a little fiction to it and stuff like that, and I played his counterpart, Guapo. You know what I'm saying? So I played his counterpart in that, and we filmed that, and that was a beautiful thing, man. Like just to actually be filming a short, you know, like a short film, you know, saying a docuseries and things like that out in Vegas, not filming in LA, not filming in New York. These are places that are always known for filming. So just doing that, it was dope. You know, obviously,
if people want to see that, where do they find it?
It's not out yet. We're still working on you know, pushing that through, getting the right situation with it. But we filmed it off camera. I can show you the trailer. I can show you some clips from it for sure.
Nice.
Yeah.
What do you think? Getting any secrets of getting podcasts out? Like, is it push harder on Spotify, push harder on YouTube, or all of it, or any suggestions?
First, I would say, just step by step, I would say build the following first. Like, you know, build the following, whether you know, just get the followers up, you know what I'm saying? Whether you got to go pay for them, it doesn't matter. It's views are views. I would say build the following. I would say, obviously make good content, you know, things that you guys are doing. I would also say Spotify, I wouldn't, you don't have to jump to that first. You can if you want to, you know what I'm saying? Things like you can if you want to, but you know, jump to maybe the Apple audio.
Podcasts.
Yeah, you can jump to that if you want to jump to Patreon and get paid. But in the beginning, you know, don't worry about getting paid. That's right. You're going to get paid when you don't worry. In this field, in the podcasting, you're going to worry about getting paid when, you know what I'm saying, when you don't worry about that, even, you know, as wild as that might sound.
You get paid once you don't need it anymore.
No, right. You got to do what you love, and it's got to be that passion, that authenticity, that energy.
Exactly. I mean, how long was Joe Rogan doing it before he got the big $100 million deal? You know, you're doing it for whatever. You're just doing it for fun. You know, if you guys been doing it, I'm not sure how long you've been doing it, but you guys look like you're having fun. So I'm sure there's some sort of passion in it. You know, this is something that you believe in. It's something that's fun. You guys already have the YouTube popping. So definitely. Like I said, build the following, build that, and then start getting press. Like start. It's like call yourself, you know, Jordan was calling himself the greatest before people believe, you know, you call yourself the greatest before you believe, you know, that's why I would say there's nothing wrong with getting press on something. It doesn't matter. Press doesn't, it's not that you have to have press based on how many followers you have or how many people are watching it or things like that. You know, if you believe this is the #1 podcast in Vegas, then you say that shit and you stamp that shit and you press that shit until the world believes it.
Yeah.
You know,
For your clientele, what niche do you think do you like working with the most? So you deal with music. Is that kind of your favorite market to work with other clients with?
I like music. I like music and film. I like music and film because I feel like obviously I can relate to those. Also clothing lines, music, film, clothing lines. Shouts out to if you catch the shade. Shouts out to Sneak Apparel.
Those are badass shades.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, you know, black owned, they still designer. You know what I'm saying? Just because it's black owned, don't mean it ain't designer. Shouts out to Sneak Apparel. Fashion, like I said, clothing lines. And podcasts, like I said, I've helped build podcasts. You know what I'm saying? The audience, the creativity. You know what I'm saying? Just the certain things that you're doing. Sometimes they might see one vision and then they'll switch up the vision. Like I said, as opposed from, you know, you guys might be doing this and all of a sudden now you guys are going on other podcasts. That's just going to bring more awareness to your podcast. You know, so I like working with those because those are the most creative people day to day. Yeah. Because we're in a real, it's very, very fast paced. So everything is fast paced. If you can be creative right now, and you know, people in the studio, very creative right now. Film, very creative right now. And if they're not creative, they're working around other people that are creative. Also, they're working with people that are more creative than them. You know, like I don't always want to be the smartest person in the room. You know, I'm okay with just being the best looking. No. You know what I'm saying? So it's just with creative.
I'm still waiting for that day where I can be the best looking dude.
When I leave, he's good. Just creatives. Though to me, those are the most creative people that I deal with on a day-to-day basis because they're just coming up with ideas all the time. And if they're not coming up with ideas, they're around people that are coming up with ideas. You know, so that's what it is. Like a producer. Producers are coming up with ideas. Engineers in music are coming up with a lot of ideas. You know, and you know they get accredited a lot of the success to a lot of these artists. You know what I'm saying? There is no Drake without 40. You know, his engineers are what it is. You know what I'm saying? Kanye helped Jay-Z get to a different level because of his production. So it's like, yeah, I appreciate creatives. I appreciate all of that stuff, that creativity. That's the motivation. But the #1 thing that trumps motivation is discipline because you're not always going to want to do it. So discipline is what's going to make sure that you do it no matter what.
Like me giving up on TikTok.
Yeah. Hey, man, fuck TikTok, man. They kicked me off for some bullshit. Y'all don't want to hear that story.
We do want to hear that story. How do you get kicked off of TikTok?
I have no idea. So what happened was one of my partners, he came out from LA and he was throwing a bachelor party for his friend who was getting married. And I just kind of like helped set everything up. And I promise you, this is like no bullshit. I posted, it was already dark. So I kind of like panned the room with my phone. Like I just kind of panned the room. Yeah. The girls weren't naked. They might, they had clothes on. They had like thongs on and stuff like that. I probably have been on TikTok for like maybe like 2 months before that.
This is the aftermath of a bachelor party? Is everybody's passed out or what's
prior to him setting up?
This is no. This is like it was kind of dying down. So it was dying down. So it wasn't crazy about the money. It wasn't nobody doing nothing crazy. I'm telling you, man, TikTok, man, y'all tripping. I just did like a quick pan of the room. Boom. I posted it.
It's too exciting.
Boom. And it was dark too. I'm like, how the fuck? It was dark. Right after that, the next day, I guess I posted it. TikTok was gone. I didn't even get like a no like
a fuck you email.
No preliminary. No like nothing. It just looked.
You didn't
it was
criticize China, did you?
Hell no. Hell no. I don't even think we had any Asian strippers there. Nothing like that. No Chinese strippers or nothing.
Celtics from LA. What's your man? He used to play for the Celtics.
Who?
From LA. I can't think of his name.
Paul Pierce?
Yeah, Paul Pierce.
Paul Pierce
had the strippers.
Man, shouts out to Paul Pierce. Yeah, man, that was crazy, man. And it was gone. Like it was just like you had been removed. That was it.
Oh, damn. Just
like,
straight up.
Straight up.
Okay, because
they didn't give me a chance. I couldn't refute it or nothing like that. Instagram, they might give you a chance like, okay,
wow.
So you did something tricky.
30
Sounds like
jail.
somebody was the hater and just fucking reported you or some shit.
Wow.
Man, somebody reported me foul. It wasn't even like I didn't get no warning.
That does not sound like an automated ban.
Do you feel me, Joe? My God, they played me.
So I'll tell you about, so Angie, when we did the podcast with Angie, there's a part where I don't remember exactly, but there's a part where Emmett says something. She was talking about a love story or something, and then we had a bong. She was smoking.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
And then she said it's like dick smacking you out of nowhere. but I think Emmett said no. I was talking about your love story. Love will get you out of nowhere.
Right. I saw that clip on Instagram.
So that one got
flagged
on TikTok. I got flagged 3 times. So the first time I was like, okay, maybe the word dick. So I bleeped out dick, and then it got flagged again. I was like, maybe it's the bong. Right. So then I blurred out the bong,
and it's still flagged.
And it still got flagged.
They trip over smoke. Now I noticed that they would flag over the smoking. So when I because I was smoking stuff. So it was like when I would smoke on TikTok, if it's real intricate the way they would do it. So it's like if they see that you are smoking, then they'll flag you. But if they just kind of see the smoke, like if you blowing out the smoke, then they wouldn't trip on it. So I couldn't, so I couldn't put the blunt to my lips and smoke it.
That's crazy. I can't
Joe's killing us right now.
Yeah, and only right. Thank you, my God. He said, "Fuck that, I'm doing that just right now."
But it's also probably because it's also hitting the younger demographic as well too, and so they're thinking
too.
about their sponsors and whatnot, so they don't want to necessarily portray that.
Right. I understood.
They look like you fucking with my money.
Right. I understood it.
I mean, I don't know what they might have been smoking between I don't ran
Can't
up
call
and
it.
Yeah.
Like I said, I know I only noticed that because I get very I pay attention to that type of stuff because I'm like, why am I getting flagged? But then I noticed I'm like, and then I'm going on other people's stuff. I really didn't see a lot of people, and this was last year. This was last year, and TikTok's only been out like a couple years, so this wasn't. I was looking at other people, so I was like, okay, I don't see a lot of people doing smoking. I don't really see a lot of people on TikTok smoking. So I was like, okay, cool. That made sense. But yeah, man, fuck TikTok, man.
That's crazy that they banned you outright. Because on mine,
outright, no questions, nothing. Like I tried to set up another one under the same email just to see like is it something. They was like, no, we know you. Like, nah, they was
banned for life.
On
the lifetime ban.
On the Angie one, I think there's a little red footnote thing that said 3 offenses and you could be banned.
That's what I needed.
It didn't tell me what to take out.
So you just took the whole?
I tried, I think 4 times. It flagged 3 times, and I forget if the 4th one ended up going through. And I still couldn't figure out what they're really upset about.
Right. TikTok is weird, man. I could not believe it. I'm telling you, it was money on the flow. They might have seen some ass and some thongs and some ass, but it was quick. It was just like.
Thong ass.
Well, that sounds like fucking TikTok to begin with.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, man. I done seen some chicks going crazy on TikTok. That's why I was like, what the fuck, man? That shit was
they
crazy.
Thought you was soliciting prostitution. And you know what the
man,
the human trafficking, the whole thing
that's
had
true,
too.
That's true.
So they might be.
I can't call it, man. We had a great night though. It was a great.
I bet
it was a great night. You know what I'm saying? My guy who threw the bachelor party. Everybody was taken care of. All the strippers were taken care of. Everything was good. I got banned the next day. That shit was
I was TikTok gonna ban a video where you're taking care of strippers.
Exactly. Maybe that's what it was because there was money on the floor and it was the end of it. So the girls was kind of like picking up money, but they was kind of just chilling though. They weren't even really twerking or nothing. Like I'm telling you, man. And if they was doing all of that, I would have a story like, look,
wait,
I was going crazy.
Hold on though. You're saying they weren't really twerking?
Yeah,
were they kind of twerking or?
Well, they had enough ass to just walk in, the ass just moving.
All right.
So it's like if they just walk in and the ass, but like I said,
you gotta send me a copy of this video so I can.
I don't got it. It's gone. I couldn't even save it. Like you can try to save something and it'll save to your phone. I was just like, all right, man. Let me at least try to keep. I don't even got the memory. I'm gonna try to see if I can find some. Behind it. I gotta hit up my guy, see if he got some because I sent him a couple clips that were just like off that. Man, that shit was crazy, man. Like I couldn't believe it. It was so quick. That shit was wild.
Do you know any midget strippers?
No, I don't. I do not know any midget strippers, man. That's crazy.
I used to know one. I think she got out of the business.
Yeah. You say you used to know her?
Yeah, in Vegas.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's
like you knew her personally.
Well, no, she came to a party.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
She paid her.
He's like, well, no. I mean, you know what I'm saying? We are live, you know what I mean? I do not know the midget stripper.
I got a question for how would you brand her if she came to you?
A midget stripper?
Yeah. Shout out to Lil Steph.
That's what you do. So I'm curious. How would you brand her?
How would I brand her?
How would you push?
First off, we got to know, like I said, first we're going to start with her following. We're going to build her Instagram. You feel me? We're going to start with her following, get her some followers. And
I mean, you posting pictures? What you doing?
Yeah, they got to know what they got to know what they going to see. You know what I'm saying? We got to find the demographic, you feel me, that actually like this. You know what I'm saying? So we going to see what demographic is fucking with midget strippers, you know what I'm saying, and then we're gonna run it like that.
Need the data.
Yeah, we got to run it like that for sure. And she got to have a good name. She got to have a good name. It got to be catchy. Whatever her name is.
Her name was Lil Steph.
That's not good enough. We need
It's got to be partially self-aware though. The name,
right. Whatever the name is, Little Steph, because that doesn't let us know that she's a midget off top. You feel me? We got to step and a half or something. You got to give her like step and 3/4 or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? We got to give her.
This might get us banned.
Hey, not here. We good. YouTube, man. Hey, show us love.
YouTube's down with midget talk.
I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know.
Speaking of getting banned and flagged, so remember our podcast with Brian Pham, Joe and Emmett?
Yeah, the Hustle Network.
So he was totally wholesome, right? He was awesome, good-hearted. We had a great conversation. There was no. I don't think there was any
Super
racial.
Square.
Huh?
Super Square.
Yeah. So I try to advertise through there's a promote thing on YouTube video where you could promote the video. And like I mentioned earlier, I'll get you to the suggested area or the front page maybe.
Gotcha.
And I try to promote that video. And I just try to put in like whatever. I do I was trying to do $1 a day. So the mostly could charge you $30 a month.
Oh, okay.
And then I submitted the campaign and it came back ineligible because of, I believe, racial talk. I'm like, we didn't talk what?
Racial talk?
I think there's
you guys are a different race and you're talking. That's racial talk.
The only he was an Asian guy, but he has this Facebook group called Asian Hustle Network. So it's all entrepreneurs who hustle as their side job or their whatever.
It was called Asian Hustle Network.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so maybe.
That's a good point. Maybe the name was the problem.
But they think.
I mean, I
But
bet
it was
it's
all
like,
Asian, so
I bet it's like this. So there's not
you're right.
it was all Asian dudes talking about.
but there's not a live person looking at it and thinking about it, right?
It's algorithm.
So I think they're just banning anything Asian, anything with any racial. You could have Indian. You could have.
Otherwise, I mean, I don't know how many views that particular video got, but I don't remember it being enough to have anybody complain. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
You have to have tens of thousands, I feel like, before anybody even hits that goddamn report button.
Yeah,
and they said that he said something.
Oh, just so I think it's an automated thing. Like there's I set up a campaign and then I put in that I'm willing to pay up to $1 a day for the advertisement, and then a few hours later it came back and said inactive due to racial content.
And that fast, like they watched the whole fucking interview.
I don't believe a human reviewed it. There's no way.
Yeah, that's crazy.
If that timeline is insane. Do they have things that like AI listen to your video?
They have they do transcribe all the English, so that it has text.
Yeah, I probably saw you say Asian 1,000 times in that.
Yeah.
Stupid probably mad you only put $1 down. It's like, we're not the Asian of you.
No, Liem ain't playing. He was like, so you got
like, come on, like, dude, like,
$1 a day? You know what I mean?
$1? Like, really,
we gotta get him
$1?
out of here, man. He ain't spending enough money. Come on. Don't take Liem to the strip club. You know what I mean? He's like, I got $1 for y'all.
Well, no, I bet that was a test, right, to see if you can.
Yeah, exactly. I was testing to see if it.
Oh, okay, got you.
Even if I put in $1 a day, will it? I just want to see if it shows one view or someone clicks on it.
That'd be see if it was going to work. Just a test run.
If it's $1 and then it gets like I don't know what metric. Like if it gets 500 views, just what if like $30 in a month for 500 views?
Then you could
hell yeah, I'm gonna go up.
Got you.
But if it says it used up all $30 and only got one view, I'm gonna be like,
got you. Just a test run. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Well, I mean, and also if you think about YouTube, if you a lot of the stuff YouTube pushes, which I'm sure is paid for, as we've been talking about, is like, I don't want to say the word wholesome because that's not what I mean. What I mean, it's very
non-controversial.
It's almost overly non-controversial and non-offensive. You know, it's super generic stuff that like, you know, you can watch with your family and
like we were, talking about, like what I was talking about, like just regular stuff.
Go into incognito mode so you're not signed in. There's no cookies or anything, and go to YouTube and look at all the shit they recommend. The vast majority of it's gonna be the super sanitized content.
That's true. That is true. That is true. And a lot of things get flagged. You know, what I'm saying I definitely know about that.
That's why your Yosemite video went so big.
There's like some. I forget if it was 60,000 views or some shit.
Oh, shit.
That was you unfolding a cot.
Oh yeah, that too.
See,
people
don't understand that stuff goes viral in a sense. That's viral for you. You feel me? That's viral. And viral doesn't have any, you know, numeric value. Like it's not specific. Like if you're usually getting this amount of views and then all of a sudden that's viral, then you went viral no matter how you slice it. Mm-hmm. That's wild. I can't believe I can't believe you got flagged for the Asian shit.
Yeah. The only thing when it flagged me on that video, I was thinking there's one conversation, one story he brought up where he was invited, because he has that Asian Hustle Network. So other businesses started seeing that during the COVID Asian hate crimes time.
That's what I was going to say that.
So he mentioned a company paid him to be a spokesperson at it was like some type of
a rally
or a festival or something.
Yeah.
And then
he got paid.
Yeah, and
he got paid.
And if he made any reference to that, that's like what you just. If he said the word Asian hate crime, now that makes sense, because that's the one thing I was thinking when you said that. I was like, I don't know, man. Just that whole it was very sensitive.
You better cut out this part. We're going to get this podcast bounced.
Yeah. Well, I think our podcast 3 hours long. We even try to tell. We have the three of us. We have this thing. Try not to cuss within the first 10 minutes because of the YouTube algorithm.
Right.
But we fail every fucking time. Like we can't even go 10 minutes.
Right.
Thank God you edit the shit. Thank God we're not live.
That's true. Right. That's facts. That's facts.
And let alone the 3 hours, we usually talk about something controversial within 3 hours. It's given.
And that's you guys got to be the only ones. This is going to be the longest like podcast I've ever done. Like that's your niche. Like 3 hours. Like no one does that. And I saw on YouTube like that's your thing.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah. Even actually Lex Friedman, Joe Rogan, who I took the inspiration from because they do the 3 hour talk. Okay. Lex is actually saying he wants to push for 4 and 5 hours. Wow. And I believe he said something to this degree. Any billionaire that comes to him and asks for an hour interview, he's going to say no. He doesn't need the money. He's doing this out of his passion. Right. So I do agree with him on I've done interviews that are an hour. Mm-hmm. It is not enough time.
Because an hour it
goes so quick.
So quick.
Yeah, and you get a person that's
We're an hour in right now.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm just warming up. I didn't talk for 40 minutes.
Feel like that.
Bring it, Joe. Bring it.
It didn't even feel like that. That's true.
What changed.
When you got a dynamic speaker, someone charismatic, that's going, and they got stories to tell that.
Facts. So. That's true. That's true. It never feels like that.
Even if you get a salesperson, if you get someone that's just pitching their business the whole time, it's easy to speak 1 hour. It's the second and third hour where they got to start giving some nuggets of information of how they did their business.
Facts.
No, he's putting you on the spot now. He said, what you got? We got 2 more hours.
You got some nuggets, man.
Like, what's good?
You know me. I'm all for it because that's a lot of people. They try to cuff information. I'm not. Information is. I say time and information, the 2 number 1 commodities in life. So
we should get into your childhood trauma in Beverly Hills.
I didn't have no childhood trauma in Beverly Hills, man.
Rich.
I wasn't rich. I wasn't rich, man, because I came from DC. I wasn't born. I'm from DC originally. I wasn't born in Beverly Hills, so they used to call me like the Fresh Prince in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Came from DC,
southeast, southwest,
northeast.
Okay,
northeast, Saratoga, Montana. So I came out to Beverly Hills. In the 90s, you didn't see too many black people in Beverly Hills. So it was, they used to think I was Jordan's son or some shit. But I wasn't, I was in like my mom, we just made it. Like, I don't know if you guys you've been in Beverly Hills, I'm sure, right?
Yeah. I drive through there and then I keep driving.
Okay. He said I drive through there and I keep driving.
I don't got any friends or anything.
Oh, okay. Well, now you do.
I can't afford those stores.
Now you do. You feel me? I'm always back and forth.
Nice.
But we were right. Like, you're familiar with like the Olympic, Wilshire, kind of that area.
Yeah, Wilshire hits right at Beverly Hills.
Okay,
Boulevard.
so like Robertson and Olympic and Robertson, like in between Wilshire and Olympic. I was in that pocket.
Yeah,
it's a line, like literally LA Beverly Hills line where you see the Beverly Hills signs is white and then you see the LA signs is blue. I was there, man. You know what I mean? So,
right on the border.
I just made it. Like, it was like safe. Like, I slid right in there. So that was it. But it was. I don't really have any trauma. It was dope. Like growing up in Beverly Hills, it was dope to me.
It's crazy that most people don't know. If you just start driving south from there, you go a mile or two, you're starting to get close to South Central.
It's literally
you
10,
go across
15
the
minutes.
10.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It's 15 minutes away. It's not far. You're not far from all that, and then West LA and things like that. And then you for sure. But
I mean, traffic will slow you down, but physically, it's not very far.
In fact, Robertson will take you straight to the 10.
Yeah,
boom. You right when you hop on, you good.
Yeah,
but also I was while I was living in there when I first moved. I went to school I went to a private school. Was affiliated with the church, West Angeles Christian Academy. So I went to the church and I went to the school. So it was like my mom didn't want me to be no square. You know what I mean? So she's like, you living in Beverly Hills, I don't want you to just be like a straight geek. You feel me? So I went to school on Crenshaw on 30th, you know what I'm saying? So nice. I had that balance, you know what I'm saying? So but I
wish my parents were that smart.
Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in San Diego, did my high school years in Thailand, and my parents were happy to have me be a geek. They weren't.
Are you? Is that what you Thai? Are you? Who does that? So
Well, yeah, I didn't have a choice.
You're Thai. I don't know. You're Thai.
I'm half Vietnamese.
Okay, half Vietnamese.
So at the time, there's no embassy in Vietnam, so my
Okay.
dad was working out of the Bangkok embassy
Okay.
to go back and forth to Vietnam. So
So you went to high school in Thailand. Okay.
yes, it was an amazing experience, but
That's crazy.
as a high school kid, you're not
So you
realizing it.
So you speak the language, obviously.
No, well, so here's the thing: if you're in Thailand and you can get by in English, right? So I'm a high school
Oh, yeah?
kid. I'm worried
Well,
about playing
Bangkok,
basketball
yeah.
and
Bangkok, Phuket, you know.
Oh
yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
I mean, I wish I had dove more into the culture and learned more of the language. But I was at an all English school. You know, it was
Okay, so that's dope.
yeah, a private school for like rich kids and diplomats kids. And
Oh, see, look at you, man. You understand. You talking about rich kids, man. That's what you was
Yeah,
doing.
I mean,
so
I-
you understand the
Yeah,
life.
right. No shit.
I went to school with rich. I've lived with rich,
Yeah.
you know, around rich kids. All my friends was rich. You know what I'm saying?
I was the poor kid at school.
Your pops was a diplomat, though, right?
I didn't even buy my own
We lived
clothes
in an
till like
apartment too, man. We didn't have a house. And it used to be funny because
Yeah.
my mom used to be like, all of your friends got mansions, but why the fuck they always want to come and chill at our house and eat up all our food, and they want to get dressed, go out to parties and stuff. They want to get dressed and stuff like that and be
They want
around
that
you.
real world experience.
Right, you know what I'm saying? And they rock with me, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, everybody, it was a good experience. It was a really good experience. I really can't say nothing bad about, Beverly Hills. I can't say I experienced no crazy racism or anything like that. They treated me like them, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like they straight up,
Yeah,
you
man.
know?
Dude, that's the thing is like I feel like a lot of that shit's over exaggerated. Like
It is.
as long
It
as you're
is.
chill, people are usually chill with you. You know,
Yeah.
no matter,
Right,
I don't know,
and it's also the culture in the heart of Beverly Hills. It was more like Persians and stuff like that, as opposed to just like white people. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So, in a sense, that was their first generation of those kids. You know what I'm saying? They had just kind of migrated. I would say that first generation. So they were just real cool. Real come through and humble and nice, and they showing genuine love. So they because I guess at the end of the day, just in Beverly Hills, but they still felt like they was a minority to a certain extent. You know what I'm saying? So. They show love, I had no complaints,
wait, so you know some Persian dudes that own a Mercedes dealership?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. They all had the classic Benz. Every Persian had a Benz. You know what I'm saying? That's a fact. They all had their stuff together, and they also they all worked like downtown too. So it was almost like I understood. They would be like, yeah, my dad owns this store and stuff like that. So it's like a lot of ownership. So it's a lot of entrepreneurship. So even subconsciously, I'm learning that at a young age. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, okay, cool. My mom's working. You know what I'm saying? Your dad is owning. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you don't really understand. Now, back then, obviously, growing up, entrepreneur wasn't a thing. There wasn't like a word really that people were saying all the time. But
Yeah, I had zero exposure to the idea of opening a business or whatever. My parents were always, you go to school, you get a job.
Right.
That's how you make it.
Right.
That's the gig. Get a job.
Exactly. That wasn't something that my mom kind of like pushed upon me. She was just like, do what you do. I mean, I used to play basketball and stuff like that. So I wanted to go to the NBA and all that type of stuff.
Yeah,
So
we all do.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's kind of what it was. So yeah, you learn. But my mom, she didn't even want to really be an entrepreneur. Some people that understand what it takes to be an entrepreneur, just like I tell people, it's not for everybody. She didn't want to do that. She was like,
No, you got to wake up motivated every day. You got to wake up hungry. And
You also have to have that frame of reference too. And if you didn't grow up seeing yourself or seeing someone that looks like, for you, there's, they say the cream rises to the top, but there's a lot of people out there who because not everybody's going to be wealthy. Not everybody's going to make it. You know what I mean? So it was for you, it planted that seed, and there was something in you, and you saw that, so it planted that seed for you.
Right.
But a lot of people, there's a billion average. What are we like 6-7 billion on the planet?
Right.
How many of us are like, super special like that? You know what I mean? So it's
That's
like
true. That's
it's
very
okay
true.
with being regular, but not everybody's going to rise to the top like that. Not everybody wants that.
Exactly. A lot of people don't want that. And now the regular, it used to be you have to still have that, that niche, what I'm saying, to a certain type of entrepreneur. But now the regular entrepreneur is the guy now. You know what I'm saying? Like Elon Musk he looks like just from his look, he just looks like a regular guy. He doesn't look like somebody like a superstar or something like that just jumps out. That's what's going on now. Like when people talk about NFTs and the metaverse and all of this type of, it's regular billionaires, regular looking billionaires. Everybody doesn't look like a superstar. So that's kind of what also launched a lot of entrepreneurship. People realize they could be billionaires or millionaires off of something that's regular.
right.
So kind of like what you're saying. So that's actually tapping into that. That's tapping into being regular and turning that into something that is special. You know what I'm saying? Because now you're regular, but you're jumping into the 1 percentile.
Now's my chance,
Well,
Tony.
Well,
Hey,
Yeah,
we
man.
built for this.
Yeah, Tony,
Normal
put it on.
dude. What were you saying, Joe?
let me ask you a question.
Talk to me.
I know that this is like a little bit more philosophical than probably want to go, but what would you say overall for your average client that you have is luck versus hard work? Because obviously they're not all going to achieve the same success, right? They're not all going to have the same results.
Right. You said what is say that again? What is luck?
How much of success overall, especially in your field, but in general, do you think is luck versus, talent?
That's a good question. I would say
Hard work or talent. Those two are interchangeable.
I would say that, some people say at the end of the day, luck is right in the middle of that. But the thing that most people don't understand is how much hard work that goes into it when you are talented. Like, you know what I'm saying? So talent, hard work, I don't know. It's like, there's luck in it. There's luck in it, but I mean, some of the wealthiest people or people with the most money, those people work the hardest. You know what I'm saying? From what I see, you know what I'm saying? So I really see a lot of hard work. Like if we're talking about like a Mozzie or something like that, like Mozzie's up early in the morning. I'm up early. I'm up early every day. You know what I'm saying? Because I was stuck. Like ML Billion told me, as a mentor, he was like, you got to get up before the world is up. You know what I'm saying? And we're on West Coast time anyway. So if the stock exchange opens at 7, then I need to be up at 4 and 5 and things like that. So I notice a lot of the people that they work hard. They got they billionaires and they working hard. So you think that the more money they have, the more lackadaisical they're going to be. Now what luck comes with that? It's like, okay, so if he makes a good pick, but he's been studying, he's been up for all of that. I can't just give that luck because it's a lot of hard work that goes into it. That's a great question though, but I don't know, man. What I would say is just position. If you put yourself in the right position
To take advantage of the luck.
The luck will kind of happen. You know what I'm saying?
Well, luck or talent will get you in the door.
Right.
But once you get in the door, you got to show and prove. So you actually have to put in the hard work. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of talented dudes out there. A lot of dudes, I could have been in the NBA
Exactly.
or the NFL, but
that's why I said luck is
that work.
Yeah.
You got to put in
Give
that
me the
work.
definition of, like, if we really want to break it down, we can be philosophical. So it's like, what would be your definition of luck? Or what is anybody's definition of luck? That's like something that we say as a kid and we say luck. But when you grow up, it's like, what is luck? You know what I'm saying? We're grown men. Like, usually it's like you're making your own luck because you're putting yourself in position. You know what I'm saying?
Well, so
you're absolutely
being
right.
6'8" will help you in the NBA, right?
Yeah,
It may not get you there. Though.
It helps. It might help. I would say I would say being 6'8" will help you get more. Will help you get more ladies than that will help you get in the NBA all the time. Because if you don't have the talent, if you're just a tall person, you're just a tall motherfucker that can't do nothing, then that's not gonna do anything.
So at least you're getting laid all the time,
right? You feel me? You're getting laid. You know what I'm saying? But necessarily, if you don't have no game, that's not really gonna help. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, okay, cool. That's like saying, okay, cool, go into the NBA. Okay, you're black. That don't mean you can play ball. I know a lot of people I know a lot of black people that don't. That's not their thing. Yeah. So when we talk about luck, it's like, okay, cool. What's the definition of it? Because it's like not 9/10 of the law. You know what I'm saying? Is what possession is 9/10 of the law, but position is 9/10 of the game. So it's like if you can put yourself in a position, then you've kind of made yourself. You've made your own luck, and that's what I notice. I notice a lot of people they making their own luck. Now, if we're talking about somebody that's already come from money and things like that, you know what I'm saying? Which is it's like that's why.
That's an advantage.
Now, I think that would probably be the best definition of luck because that's something that you're just born into it, right? So if you're just born into it, you're lucky. True. You're lucky. You're gonna have money. And that's just based on luck. So, that's why I hate self-made. I hate that word because somebody had to hand you that check unless you were born into it. And if you're born into it, you're never self-made.
Dude, a shocking amount of tech billionaires, especially the younger ones, came from extremely like privileged backgrounds in terms of like what they had available to them to begin with. Right. They say self-made, but then they're like, oh yeah, I had an idea when I was 18 and my dad gave me, $1.5 million to fund my idea.
Exactly. You're not
that's not self-made. Yeah, you're not wrong, but
Yeah, I would say you are because when people say they're self-made, they really make it seem like they did it all by themselves. And I know people that have done certain aspects. You're gonna do certain aspects of things, by yourself. But that's just like if I talk about how I started doing management and stuff like that. Who am I contesting a lot of my success to? I'm shouting out a lot of people that helped me, put me in position, mentors and things of that nature. So it's like, yeah, I'm doing it, but there's also a lot of people that are helping me do it. So
I can tell you, when I was 18, I was worried about coming up with $400 rent.
Right.
On my $400 every 2 weeks paycheck.
Come on, man. Thank you. Yeah. Like there's that, like I said, when you talk about tech billionaires, like Zuckerberg and stuff like that, there's aspects of, there's going to be aspects of luck in every situation. I said, I could say that how I met Billion, that could be luck. Right? My partner.
Absolutely.
My partner just told me to come out to Vegas and do this, that, and the third. And then, I was there working. And then one of my partners I was working with, luckily met him and then luckily didn't cuff the connect. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people do that. A lot of people meet somebody and because he actually needed stuff. You know what I'm saying? He was like, I need somebody that moves this, that, and the third. As opposed, he could have been like, oh, I do it. Or, he could have fronted on me. But he happened to say, you know what? I actually know somebody that moves like this. I actually know somebody that can kind of help do this and did it. So, yeah, if I break it down like that, that's luck. But once again, it's about the position, right? So I'm not even privy to that type of luck until I put myself in that position. So I would say luck and positioning go hand in hand. There's going to be luck in everything. It's lucky that I linked up with you guys, you know what I'm saying? Through certain people and aspects, and Jake and Angie, and I reached out and you luckily hit me back. You could say anything that has luck in it, but it's always about position. If I was trying to meet you guys or be a part of the platform, and then you guys look at it, you look at what I got going, and you're like, So just like how you asked me, have I turned anybody down? I'm sure you guys have turned people down. Like, no, I don't want you on my platform. Or
there's been a couple of emails where it feels like a spammy marketing vibe.
Like you just
thingy.
did this to 50 fucking people, right?
Yeah, but it's pretty interesting how they're getting smarter, because the first iteration, I saw their first iteration, they're actually evolving. The first iteration was just like, hey, Liem, we like your YouTube channel. I have a CEO of this business that does this and this, would like to be on your podcast. Mm-hmm. So I got a spammy vibe out of that. And then the second iteration, it was
why was that a spammy vibe?
The spelling errors, the punctuations, the spacing.
Gotcha.
I'm like, this looks like some template.
It looked like a spam email.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, like it was a Nigerian dude emailing you?
Sort of.
Okay.
Then the next.
All right, man, don't get us flagged. You feel me? I might have a Nigerian coalition on us.
I love Nigeria.
Then the next iteration.
Get a lot of emails from there.
This one actually seems like they tailored it where someone actually watched one of my podcasts and they're like, oh, we really like you that you had this guest that talked about this business on your podcast, but there's still so many spelling errors that it's something like is as if they left a space for their agent to watch like 15 minutes or whatever, 5 minutes and then write something about my podcast.
Got you.
About the name of the guest and what we spoke about. But there it's like the template, like the top parts. Hi, I know the CEO from this company that would like to be on your podcast. Then their blank spot where they write about my podcast, and then more at the end.
Okay.
Wait, so then do you go look up the CEO in that company?
And then,
yeah, of course he does. You feel me? You could tell he's going.
So I went and looked, and that CEO, like his interview. So I went to watch some of your podcasts, the one, the Action Junkie.
I appreciate that.
I like the way that you spoke.
I appreciate that.
So when I watched this other CEO guy, it seemed like he was just pitching his business the entire time. I'm just like, I don't want that.
Right.
Gotcha.
And also for anybody that's going to see this and stuff like that, that's actually something good to talk about. So if you want to get on. This is also things that I do, like consulting and management. If you want to get on different platforms and stuff like that, you sell. You're selling yourself. You're not just selling your business. If I hit you up like, I do this, I do that, I do this, I do that, it's like, it's more like this is what I have going. You know what I'm saying? Check me out. You more or less sell yourself, and then that had you for whatever reason say, let me tap in. Now, obviously, we already have a relationship as far as you seeing. Oh, okay. Well, he was on Jake's show. He's on Angie's show. Oh, okay. He's doing things in Vegas. So it's like it makes it more palatable. You know what I'm saying? So for somebody that's as meticulous as Liem, once he does his homework, you know what I'm saying. So once he does his homework, he's gonna go watch it, and I appreciate that. And that's what I've also noticed the last. Mostly all of the podcasts that I go on, somebody always says, oh yeah, I actually went and watched it, as opposed to just like, okay, it's cool to be like, okay, I rock with you. But you're like, nah, I saw it. I went and seen it. I liked your vibe. I liked how you moved, and that's what it's about. And that's what I tell artists and people that I deal with and clients and stuff. It's like, sell yourself. People want to rock with you, then they're gonna rock with your brand. If they're not rocking with you, they don't give a fuck about your brand. And that's what that's why I always tell people when they're building their brands, sell yourself first. Because like, now if your brand is bigger than you, by all means, but most of the time people are going to believe in you. You know what I'm saying? How can you believe in what I'm doing as far as management if I can't sit and, you know, articulate what I am and what I do, as opposed to the shit talking and stuff like that. We can do all of that, but it's just like, you got to sell yourself. And a lot of people, they struggle with that, and they just want to, fuck what I got going, but I have a great product. You know, a lot of people don't want to just sit, like you said, especially, you know, I didn't realize off top, and this was going to be a 3-hour interview. Who the fuck can talk about a product for 3 hours? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, nobody can, as Joe definitely getting right.
Joe could talk about weed for 3 hours.
Now that product we can talk about for hours. But you know what I'm saying? So that's actually good that we can give some context on a lot of people, because a lot of people they wonder, and they ask me too, man, how do you get on a lot of platforms and stuff like that? You got to be genuine. You have to have something going. You know what I'm saying? And you know, have a common bond. If you can have something in common, then people are going to be more. They're going to acclimate. It's going to make more sense.
Yeah, I want to say, if I remember from the Action Junkies podcast that you did, there are some of the questions where they asked. It was more almost a philosophical question,
right?
And on the polar side, there's this other female that I think she emailed me to see if she could be on my podcast. I checked out some of her podcasts, and I listened to her for, I swear it was like 30 minutes. I was like trying to get a feel for her personality, but there's nothing concrete that she was saying that, like, no, whether it be a morality question or concrete things about her business, neither side. Like, even if I just get that you're a good person, I'd rather have a good person on my podcast.
There you go.
And the whole time I listened for 30 minutes, I was like, I don't get this. So then I did one last chance. I emailed her and said, hey, can you send me I got this questionnaire. Can you reply to it? It's just 5 questions about you and whatnot. And then she just wrote back, listen to my podcast. And I was like, I tried.
Yeah.
I tried. I actually tried for 30 minutes, woman.
Yeah,
Obviously, you don't know how important she is.
right. No, that's real. That's real. And it's funny you said philosophical, because in Action Junkies, you know, shouts out to them, and shouts out to, you know, John Orlando and Adam. It just seemed like we were shooting the shit. And what was, you know, some of the best, and a lot of people that have seen that interview, I've gotten a lot of good reviews from people saying like, oh, I saw that interview. I saw you on the Action Junkies. So that, you know, obviously they're probably popular and things like that. Yeah. But we were just talking, like, they didn't even have a huge context on me or what I did. It was kind of like we were just chilling, kind of like just like this. That's
like
why
in a barbershop.
Right. Yeah. Just chilling. And like when I first came through, it was like, we're just going to sit and, you know, chop it up, and then you just tell us about what you do and we'll go from there. And we were just literally chopping it up and just talking about, you know, whatever. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh yeah, I made a reference to, I think, Entourage or something like that. And I was like, management. I was like, oh, I call myself like the Black Ari Goes. He's like, oh yeah, I watch Entourage, stuff like that. Oh man, okay. So what do you, yeah, that's true. What do you do? And da-da-da. So it kind of went in like that. So it was just no pressure, you know, it was organic, it was authentic and stuff like that. And then, mind you, then later on down, you know, they're from Beverly Hills, and they know, you know, a lot of things that I'm talking about. We have common bonds and things like that, you know. So I'm referencing Quincy Jones, and Adam's like, oh, well, my dad was the publicist for Quincy Jones, stuff like that. So it's just like, you know.
Is there a podcast about action movies, or what's Action Junkies?
No, they're podcast. That's just a name. Action
They're not doing stunts and shit.
Yeah, they weren't doing stunts. We didn't talk about action films or none of that stuff. That was just the name of their thing. And I also you said that being a good person is solid. That's what you have on Instagram. Like I think that's what you were just like. We just good talks with good people.
Yeah, exactly.
Like fuck it, you know what I'm saying. Everything else, if you're solid, it's gonna transcend.
Yeah.
You know?
What's your guy? Just a random tangent. What do you guys think the future of entertainment is going to be like? So, I'm thinking.
In what aspect?
Like back in the past, I feel like what would be a good example?
Benny Hill.
Is that a good example?
Okay. Too far back.
That's too far.
There's Benny Hill, Aerosmith, Guns N' Roses.
Oh, you better not be throwing Aerosmith under the bus.
No. Run DMC. Any of those artists back then.
Keep going.
Just seems like the I would say the industry of how it market that, and then the changes to now with YouTube, internet, and whatnot. I think obviously it's changing, but what do you think the future? So let me give my one of my thoughts. I actually got this from Sager and Crystal, which they do the Breaking Points new news thing on YouTube. But Sager thinks that podcasting will become like right now we got Joe Rogan, the big name Joe Rogan. But he thinks it's gonna spread out where there's gonna be basically some type of Joe Rogan in every city. So it's gonna be smaller. Probably Joe Rogan's probably gonna be the biggest paid for maybe forever. For all of time, but all the new ones are going to be smaller paid, but smaller bubbles. And I kind of think entertainment seems to be going that way.
That's funny. That's what I would tell. That's what I saw in Jake. I was like, "You gonna be the Vegas Joe Rogan?" That's what I kind of saw in him like that. Like that's just the way that he moved, and the same way that you do your homework. I'm sorry, I'm getting off topic from what you're saying, but the same way that you do your homework and you look at all of you actually go look at the artist or the creator or what have you. Then you go look at watch them in, in their element. You watch me on a podcast and stuff like that. I do the same thing. And that's how I built, like, that's the same way that I watched Jake in his interviews. And then I said, okay, let me book my client on this one. And then I'll say, let me book my client on this, because you can't put everybody on everything. So I think that's dope. But back on what you're saying, it's interesting that you said Aerosmith, you said the rock stars, and then you said Run DMC. And then now, seeing as how hip hop is the number one genre, it's bigger and it's like the number one. And it didn't used to be that. It used to be pop and it used to be country and all this type of stuff.
Rock and roll,
right? The fusion is what I see. Now, if you think about hip hop, if you think about rap, rappers aren't necessarily just rapping anymore. It's always a melody to it. It's always a melodyne or a auto tune or a reverb to it. So now it's the superstar. It's the superstar now. It's the fusion of like your pop star, your rock star, and your hip hop artist. You know what I'm saying? Like Kanye's thing he just did the other day. Now when you think about a listening party used to just be at a studio. He did a full-fledged listening party, and because it was a big entertainment, it was a spectacle now. Everything has to be larger than life now. So on a large scale, that's what I see. That's crazy that you kind of like, you set it up like that, because Run DMC, they were the first ones that merged that. When they did that had pop looking at hip-hop in a certain way, and that had hip-hop looking at pop in a certain way. And, that I'm sure that was also the beginning of a lot of samples and things like that, which transcends to even now. But if you look at any hip hop artist, they say they're not into hip hop that much. Tony, you fuck with hip hop, right? No.
About 20 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean,
Well, I'm just saying, like, just all of the artists now, it's always a melody. The reason why Drake is because he sings and raps.
Right.
So now
that's your boy Ja Rule, though.
Right. That's true.
And look at
50 did the same thing.
What 50 did. 50
and 50 did the same
50
thing.
was getting on him, and what happened? 50 went and took his whole steez.
He did the same thing. He ended up doing the
look
same
at this
thing.
motherfucker singing on the hook, singing.
Thing.
This nigga. Oh, my bad, I ain't rapping.
Right. He said, I ain't rapping.
Yeah, my bad. You gonna have to bleep the N word.
He said bleep.
That might be the first one, Tony.
So that's what he was doing.
That's not bad. We over an hour in. That's not bad. We've been doing good.
I got some other 50 stories, but I can't.
I
I can't even go there.
Okay, but it's just the melody. A lot of melodies and stuff like that. That's what I noticed. So if you say the way, I just see the fusion in the pop star, rock star, superstar, like that. That's where I see everything going, because that's where it's at now. Nothing is small. But if we want to get to the podcast thing, I agree. I think there's going to be. That's why I credit Vegas to so much. That's why I really wanted to help and be a part of growing a lot of podcasts, watching people be creative, watching people go from let's just do podcasts like a regular setting, and let's do different settings and things like that. So if you ever get some time, go watch Elevated One. Shouts out to Elevated One, the Fellows podcast, because my guy Terrence and Danny B, what they do is they don't just have podcasts at a table, or they don't just have podcasts, just on a regular setting. They would do panels and things like that, and they would go in studios and get different settings. And then he set up something that was called Champagne Talks, where he would link up with an artist and say, okay, you're an artist, let's meet you in your element and things like that. So he was like, okay, cool, let's meet you in your element. And I like the creativity in that. So that's why we did a lot of panels and things like that. And then we merged everything. So that's kind of why that's kind of like my thing. You know, then I started noticing, okay, cool. We got them. Then we got, you know, I booked Jake on that show. Then I booked Angie on that show. Then I had them. You know what I'm saying? It's like we just start breaking it down like a pyramid.
Build a network of Vegas power.
Right. And put it there. And because now we have everybody being creative. We're all utilizing everybody's utilizing each other's platforms and stuff like that. And now that's how we start, you know what I'm saying, to make Vegas look bigger than just a regular podcast. Mm-hmm. So to answer what you're saying, I feel like that would help, you know, just bringing everybody and really saying you're doing it for the city and bringing everybody together, like for real, like not just fronting. That's why I always, you know, say like I always want to be like the Quincy Jones and stuff, because it's like producing and aside from just engineering, but actually bringing people together and putting people on different platforms, you see a different side of them. So then I would go on Fellas, and then I would book Terrence on their platform, and he's not going to be the same that he's going to be on his. Mm-hmm. He gets to tell his story, and then you can see where that goes. And then Angie started doing, she started doing panels and stuff like that, you know, like talking about sex and, you know, all of the things, you know, just relationships and stuff like that. People want to hear that, you know what I'm saying? So it's opposed to just, she could have all of her homegirls, or she could have a couple girls and a couple guys, but just mixing it up, that creativity, it just, you know, the synapses, I feel like all that stuff is like synapses. Everything starts happening, it starts coming together. So that's a good point.
That's Hot 97 Angie Martinez, or that's another Angie?
Nah,
Martinez?
That's a different Angie
Martinez. Okay. I'm thinking New York. I'm thinking like Hot 97.
She goes by Angie.
Okay.
Her name is Angie Martinez, but they interviewed her as well.
Okay.
I was joking about Benny Hill, but that show was on back when there was 3 channels on TV.
Wow.
Like you literally had 3
after 11 though.
Is that like Johnny Carson there?
Yeah, it was this British. It was a goofy comedy.
I know. I heard of it. I just like I'm saying, was that
Johnny Carson days? Yeah. So
like,
back then,
60s, 70s,
70s.
Even in the 80s, you'd have like 3 channels, and then cable came around, and you could get 30 channels, and you'd have MTV, and you'd see Aerosmith and Run DMC do that crossover video.
That changed the game.
Yeah, but at that point, everybody's watching the same 30 channels.
That's true.
So I think Liem's point or question about, you know, Joe Rogan is the biggest podcast, and there are some other big cup podcasts, but is everybody's interest gonna section off into different stuff? And I think it kind of already is, because, you know, I have a pickup truck, and then, you know, I go search some things on Ford Raptors, and then next thing you know, I'm watching Ford Raptors racing other trucks, and I'm watching a Ford mechanic in Chicago that's got a super popular channel. And then, so now I'm in kind of this lane of the truck stuff. And then I have an unnatural interest in SpaceX and seeing rockets land. So, you know, I'm watching SpaceX channels, and then there's a guy that does a weekly show. There's a couple of guys actually that do a weekly show on just rockets and SpaceX stuff.
Right.
So
you kind of answered your own question, because even if it's not that you have a short attention span, like I don't know how long you're actually watching all of these things.
Yeah.
You see in 5 seconds he just named that. He'll watch one thing, and then he watch another thing, watch another thing, watch another thing, watch another thing, watch another thing.
Yeah. But those interests are becoming very specialized. We're not all watching the same TV.
Right.
We're all watching.
True. You know, it's the technology. You think about the technology and the social media component. They've democratized things. Right. You know what I mean? So we all have, you know, when you have a camera phone, I remember back in the day when everybody was shooting on film and you didn't have digital cameras.
Right.
And when digital cameras came about, it was like, oh my God, we're going to get a lot of bad shit, because everybody thinks they're a filmmaker. Mm-hmm. You know, at the end of the day, you know, people are going to fall.
They were right.
People who are serious and passionate about it, you know, the cats are passionate about it, they're going to rise to the top, and everybody else will fall to the wayside. So, I mean, I think it's going to be interesting to see where it goes, because everybody, you know, anybody can be a podcaster right now. Anybody can be a filmmaker.
That's true.
You know, but it's the people who are passionate and love what they do. Those are going to be the future Joe Rogans, because he ain't going to be the last. There's going to be someone else who's going to surpass him.
So what do you guys think about so when it comes to Joe Rogan, I'm, you know, of course I'm familiar, but I don't really, you know, watch it. Like I've seen Joe Rogan's show. I mean, what do you think, just personally, what do you think it is about Joe Rogan that pushed him to the top? Because obviously, you know, a lot of people like to use him as a catalyst or as an example.
Yeah.
But once again, like what I was talking about, he didn't become that. He was Joe Rogan already.
Right.
Fair. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people.
Fear Factor, and then
there you go.
So what was before Fear Factor? There's one. Oh, I think there was another TV show before Fear Factor.
News Radio.
Oh yeah.
One is enough, right? Well, you know what I'm saying? He was already known for that, which is kind of like the point that I was making earlier. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No one gives a fuck about a Joe Rogan or the brand until he becomes Joe Rogan or is Joe Rogan. So, what do you guys think that is special? If there is, maybe there is, maybe there's not. Maybe he just is what he is. What do you guys think? There's any some specialty to Joe Rogan which is catapulted him to this type of success, or is just my guy Joe, luck, positioning? For real, like, you know what I mean?
No.
Yeah.
I think that what helped propel him to like becoming such a, and I don't mean this in any kind of disparaging way, but it's going to sound disparaging, but a mainstream commodity,
Right?
Which is what he is. You know what I mean? Like, he appeals to the mass market. He's a good person to have. That's why he got the $100 million deal. I think it was his openness to ideas, and just even with all the controversies, I'm not talking about any of that. I'm not trying to get political at all, but like in general, Joe Rogan seems very accepting of anybody that comes on, even if he doesn't agree with them. You know what I mean? Like, he talks. It's just very easy to listen to, and it's like low level, high level stuff in some regard. I don't know how to describe it.
Low level stuff on a high level, or in a huge market.
What I mean by that is that, like, he's trying to take high concept stuff and bring it down to a level where he can put it out there, and a lot of people like that type of presentation. Now, that's not the right. You know what I mean?
I get it. I'm going to try to reword what you said for that.
Sure.
So I think that's one. I'm going to say I think that's one of the 4 pieces that's in my head. So he's open enough to talk about hard concepts with professors and educated people on his platform. Yes. He's able to dumb it down for people. But I think the other factors that just happen to beautifully come together for him. Obviously, he was in Fear Factor, News Radio. Right. I think I thought of another one earlier, but so he had the fame already growing. Then so you have that aspect. UFC. So he's the commentator on UFC. Was UFC after his podcast, or I don't even remember the time.
That was before.
Yeah. That was before.
Okay, so I think there's a
he had a podcast for 10 plus years, and nobody even cared.
So that's another factor. 10 plus years, and then the UFC. I think think of how many guys want to get in UFC. So I think there's a perfect storm brewing for him, where he happens to be commentating for UFC, which is probably, all the guys in the U.S. want, or whether they want to be in UFC or they're willing to watch it, or they're really into it. I think that's just an astronomical
number. He was in UFC
number.
before it was UFC.
So I think that was just luck or position.
Lucky position.
Yeah, lucky position.
But see, y'all feel me though.
Taking advantage of the luck.
Yeah,
the luck was timing, but he was in a position to just snatch it up right there. And he did.
And then I believe my other theory is his openness to certain conspiracy theories. Okay. I think that caters to, I don't know what the percentage of American or the world or Americans.
No, but that's middle America though. Right. So you're building on, you're expounding on that audience,
which is the middle America.
And he had his hand in Joe Rogan's pocket.
Right. Yeah. So I think
Dana White's pocket.
There you go.
I was going to say, I'm sure they're good people.
Right. So I feel like I don't think he planned for any of that. I mean, he even admits to his podcast, he's like, he has no fucking idea how his podcast got so big, but he did it for 8 years, but he had all those other pieces. So
and he also was doing podcasting before it was popular.
Yes.
Which is just a little off. I also was a part of independent. I was doing independent radio before people were doing podcasts. I've been doing independent radio interviews last 10 years and things like that. So I already kind of saw where everything was going, in a sense. In the beginning, it was just a way for me to get out my music and stuff like that. But then it was like, okay, cool. People that are not pseudo famous are passionate about just sitting and chopping it up with you. And the fact of people want to talk to an artist before the artist gets to that level.
Yeah.
I mean, that's huge. You know what I'm saying? So that was also another reason why I was like, okay, setting up tours and setting up nationwide interview tours and managing artists and things like that. That's when I was like, okay, I can do this, because if people care about you before you blow up, then that's the come up. And if you record it and you get the documentary behind it, because you know everybody's a filmmaker. Everybody wants to document something. It means you put your phone out,
right?
And no matter how long it takes, you know what I'm saying. Just like how Kanye just dropped his documentary. You know, that was 20 years ago. He's been filming it for the last 20 whatever years, but now they want to see it. So it's almost like if you're kind of on the beginning of the cutting edge, UFC cutting edge. You know what I'm saying? Podcasting cutting edge. So those seem like the things that he had going for himself.
Yeah, I read Joe Rogan as he wanted originally to be a comedian, but his TV stuff gave him enough money to not have to worry about work, and he was able to commit.
What TV stuff?
He did
UFC,
Fear Factor or whatever.
News radio.
Yeah, News Radio is a paying gig, and then
all right.
I think Fear Factor money put him into the
Get some of that syndication money.
I think it was fuck you money.
Right. Hey.
Once he got to Fear Factor,
And then once again, he had a budget.
but he also wants to be a stand-up comedian. So the podcast for him is a way to keep being in front of an audience, right? Whatever your audience is,
Right.
And then so he was early.
So relevancy. So he understood relevancy is a huge value.
Yeah, and then in the early days, a lot of his guests were comedians. So they weren't,
There's still quite a bit. If you actually look at the statistics, I think comedians and MMA fighters is 85% of his.
Oh, okay.
guests.
So he has a niche. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So, but then every comedian or MMA fighter that comes on has their own audience, right? There's somebody that wants to watch everything that comedian does. So he's getting exposure every time one of those,
Right.
they're not superstars. You don't have to be a gigantic, UFC fighter, or comedian. You don't have to be Robin Williams or whatever. But if you are, if you're a working comedian or working UFC fighter, you have some fan base.
Right.
And so he's done so many fucking shows that each time that fan base tunes in, then somebody, even 1 out of 1,000 people, loves Joe Rogan's show at that point.
Right.
Then you're collecting them. And then his dedication to just doing it. And then also good production value. I think that helps because it's nice to look at, right? You're not depressed when you see some guy in his closet.
Yeah, I think audio's something. I think Tony told me this. He said,
yeah,
people will forgive you for bad video. They will not forgive you for bad audio.
Nope.
Yeah. My boy's he's sound designer in New York, so he's done a lot of black indie stuff and whatnot. And he always told me that because you have to think about it, sound is 3-dimensional.
Yes, sir.
Back in the day, in New York, whatever you seen, like they had the bootleg joint, so you go to $5 for like 3 DVDs or whatever. But if you got bad, like you could be Stanley Kubrick and have this amazing cinematography, the pictures are beautiful, incredible. But if you can't understand the dialogue, how many times you watch something that you couldn't hear what was going on, what they were saying, you're gonna turn it off. You don't care how pretty the pictures are.
Right.
But if I can't,
Kanye threw his mic in the water yesterday because he was, you feel me? It was bad sounding. It was a huge. It was a huge spectacle. But if that sounds
from Christopher Nolan movie because of that.
Right. It's not. Sound is 3-dimensional. Picture, for the most part, picture's 2D. Now, if you go to a 3D movie or whatever, that's another thing. But picture in itself is 2-dimensional. Sound is all around you. You can feel sound. You hear sound. You know what I mean? So
was Joe doing it? Was he always doing it visually, or was it audio first?
Oh, I don't even remember. I don't remember the very first one.
Because the fact of it, I'm not one to cut you off, but the fact of the visual aspect of podcasting, there's something in that made everybody feel like, it's because most podcasters don't really feel like they are quote unquote superstars. Even me and Jake talked about this, but it's like then he realizes that he brings value as opposed to just like doing an interview to somebody. So it's almost like it brings somebody that feels like they're regular in a sense. Now it's a superstar factor that comes with that. You know what I'm saying? Confidence is going to be built. All these type of things are going to be built as well. So that visual aspect of podcasting, it's very valuable. I feel like that's why a lot of people picked it up.
Yeah, it gives you that connection. It's also it brings you into the room, so it makes it more personable, more relatable. Because now I'm in this dude's house.
Right,
I mean? That's
true.
So but his house is in 1,000 other houses, 10 million houses, whatever that audience is. But I think it draws people in. And you feel like you have a personal connection to that person.
That's true. That's for sure. That's for sure.
I'll give Joe credit on. I mean, I almost want to say I don't want to give him credit because
Joe Rogan sucks.
he had Fear Factor.
Right.
He had Fuck You Money. He had all that. But it seemed like early in his podcasting, he did recognize that audio is important. So he spent the money on the Shure mics early on.
Yeah.
He spent the money to make sure that audio was, you could sit in a car, drive and listen and not be annoyed by the audio.
Right.
And I believe they're normalizing the way they master their audio. Like I'm still working on that. I'm still learning that.
We sounding good in here, man. Yeah, we sounding good in these episodes.
Well, there's still stuff you guys. Well, Emmett's never seen it. Joe probably. I'm guessing he probably knows it, and then even Tony. But I'll still have to normalize the audio, even though it sounds good here.
Oh yeah.
When I bring it in, like I'm super loud. You might be too quiet. You might be too quiet, and then there might not be enough bass over there. And then Joe, I got to do all this.
You got to go in and mix whatever.
But
it's crazy.
Like your engineer. That's good.
It's crazy how much editing I still have to do sometimes. Well, because we're so close, there's audio bleed. So this mic will pick me up. That actually all the mics are probably picking me up, but I have to also try to kill out the other mics.
True.
So this just
God forbid you should lower your voice.
It's not like sound. It's not crazy soundproof or like a studio or anything.
Yeah, that too. There is echo too.
Right. Yeah.
But
you got to make concessions for that.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting is weren't podcasts originally audio only because they come from the iPod days, right?
Right.
Isn't that what podcasts? It was iPod, Apple stuff. Those were the original podcasts.
Right. Mm-hmm. So that's what I was saying when I was doing independent radio interviews. You know, it was just indie radio.
Yeah.
They didn't have the concept of them knowing to film it.
Yeah.
And that was 10 years ago. They weren't. That wasn't the value wasn't in that. Now there's value in. It has to be filmed because what's the new model today?
Well, that's actually, I contact quite a few podcasts. Like I'll check their I'll do my research and I'm like, oh, I like this lady, so I want to invite her on.
Right.
But then I notice she does no video. I'll check another guy out. I'm like, oh, I like this guy. I want to invite him on. He does no video. And I'm hoping
it kills it.
I feel like they're already doing the majority of the work. If you're gonna record the audio and do the mastering of the audio, just get the video, and then you just got to do the color grading, and then you're done. I mean, yeah, it's not that easy, but I hope that I'm early on the podcasting video because I see a lot of there's millions of podcasts that don't do video. I'm just like, why didn't you're doing nearly all the work already?
No, but Liem has a great intuition too. He's doing this in 4K.
So
if you're watching on YouTube,
that's for sure. That's one of the things that jumped out. You guys look clear. You look clear. You feel me? Angie look clear. Jake look clear. You guys, everything look clear. I can see the color contrast. However you do the finishing, like you say, is that the color grading?
Yeah, color grading. Yeah.
I'm in music, but I'm not a producer and engineer.
And even to bash myself, the color grading, I'm learning on the fly. I'm a software engineer. I'm not a video engineer or anything.
Presentation is everything.
Yes, that's what I'm spending a lot of time to try to figure it out. I spent I don't know how many hours, hundreds, maybe thousands of hours, probably trying to figure this color grading, and I'm barely.
And whatever the software is, like I said, you've invested in yourself. These mics, this software, that stuff costs money. That stuff's not free.
Yep. You want a good system though with the DaVinci, because the DaVinci in film, they use a lot of different DaVincis for color grading, color correcting, and all that. Spending that crazy money.
DaVinci's awesome, but it's a professional's tool. I'm not. I get in there, I start tweaking stuff, and I'm starting to be able to see how bad it is, but I don't know how to make it better. At least my eye is able to see how bad it is.
YouTube.
Me and you should do one-on-one sessions.
Yes, please.
I'm very familiar with DaVinci. Let's do it.
Awesome.
Joe, what do you do, Joe, again?
Yeah, what kind of movies are you editing?
You're engineer?
Color corrector?
Wait,
color correction?
Before you answer,
engineer. What? Sorry.
Before you answer that, for our audio listeners, Joe looks pretty high right now. So go ahead. Answer the question.
Blazing red. That's a fact. He's baked.
Okay, answer the question.
I'm an electrical engineer. I work for utility subcontractor right now, but I also do a lot of film stuff, and I'm producing a short film with a director out of Arizona right now. And
is it porn or not porn?
No, it's not porn. No.
Actually, I watched what's his Harry. I watched his some of his videos. It's pretty.
He's legit.
He's legit.
That's why I decided to come on as producer, because I saw his work and I had
the short film
complete faith in him.
What's the short film? What's the short
actually,
film about?
The one that I watched was.
Oh man, well, we can talk offline about that.
Oh, okay, cool.
Oh, we
release.
You can't.
Yeah,
we can't talk.
it's not my baby to
put out there like that.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, man. Let me know if you working on any other projects, man. We got to collab on some stuff. For sure.
No, for sure, man.
Most definitely.
I'm always
Same with you, Tony.
People.
Same with you.
So what do you like? How did you get into color grading, and why do you like it so much?
Why do you love color grading?
Well, I think it's just really cool, and it's a way to. I mean, obviously, you have to capture everything you can. In camera with the lighting, you have to have a general understanding of what it is you want. But with the color grading, you can isolate certain things and bring out new moods, even just through very subtle changes to the color palette of the frame that you're seeing.
But I mean, these days,
that's awesome. And
you can break it down to the pixels. Back in the day, like I remember being in a photo chem out in the valley, and like the color correction was like it was a soup. You had these chemicals, and you go to the lab, and the chemicals, and it's 2 points too light, 2 points too dark here, or it's a little red here. But now with technology, you can down to the little nits, to the little pixels, you can color. When you look back in the day, in like the 90s, when what's your boy Dog? I'm trying to think. They were doing a lot of music videos, and that's where Hype Williams. So you would look at his music videos, and like their color correction was crazy, and that's what was attracting a lot of people. Because I mean, if you had a story that was cool, whatever, but a lot of times it was just because you got Missy Elliott, you got all these other cats, and their color correction game was crazy. You know what I mean? And like the money they spent, because record labels they was dumping money into. They was dumping money into music videos.
It was
now,
$1 million videos.
Yeah, that was back in the day when they was going hard.
Budget. That's true.
Lil X, Hype, those cats.
No, that's
I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry, Joe.
Oh no, you're totally good, man. Yeah, I like that. That's awesome. That's an awesome story.
Yeah, you said you can take a rip while you doing.
You were working in film out in the valley.
I'm just
out in Chatsworth.
Hate me.
Yeah, Tony.
I'm just trying to find my footing.
No, I'm saying back then.
It's
a certain kind of film.
I knew. I was supposed to have.
Can't say so we don't.
I was supposed to have a birthday present out in the valley. Somebody was about to take me on set. Like
the old great 18, the old 818.
No,
that's cool.
Did you ever? I forget the name of the place. There was this karaoke joint where all the porn stars would go. It was a
Vegas.
No, down in the San Fernando Valley. I think it was like
right.
Star something Star karaoke. It was funny.
Well, I do have a story off the record, but
what's that?
That's another time.
Oh, you got the story.
I know it all.
ain't trying to get flagged on that.
So, kind of jump into Emmett saying that my intuition on the 4K video on YouTube. That was something that I saw a lot of. I guess when you're on YouTube enough, you start seeing some videos are in 4K and some aren't. And there's some where even a year ago I saw that they're doing only 720p and they weren't even 1080p yet.
Right.
And some of them were starting to get pretty big. They were like, I think one channel was, like 10 million subscribers, and they didn't jump from 1080p to 4K yet. I don't know if this will pay off. I'm hoping this will pay off.
It will.
You're pushing quality everything, and
Well, it has. I mean, obviously, you've been. Just speaking for me, that was something that stood out. That stood out. You know what I'm saying? I noticed. I was like, it's clear. You know what I'm saying? It's good vibe. When it comes to a podcast, as long as the vibe is good and it's clear, quality, like you guys are talking about, you're good. Yeah, you're gonna get quality guests that are gonna want to come through and want to like rock with what you got going. So
yeah.
Everybody's watching on their 80-inch monitors now.
Now, I mean, to some degree, yeah. I mean, you see all these TVs coming out, freaking 60, 70, 80-inch TVs and monitors. It's crazy.
Or they're watching on their cell phone. That's the other.
But the crazy thing is when you go to Costco, you go to Best Buy, Sam's, they got 8K, but the content is not there.
Yeah.
So you're going to buy a TV that's going to show you 8K, but content is not coming in 8K. But you watch on Cox and whatever, eventually it's going to get there. So they're getting all these people because they don't really know. Like, my TV can show 8, but you're not getting 8K content. The bandwidth on that, the pipe's got to be huge to have 8K content. But, 4K is coming, and you're going to be ahead of the curve.
Yeah, I hope so.
And also something like when you were asking me earlier about like if there's certain things that you're lacking or certain things that clients or artists are lacking, you see what you did. Just like you don't have to have the biggest following, but you have the best quality.
Yep.
So you know what I'm saying, Now you got that down. Then you can start working on the other aspects and stuff like that. Some people, they'll just be like, oh, well, I got a great following, so I don't have to worry about the quality. You know what I'm saying? Or some people that are like, my quality is whatever, but I got a great following. Like, what the, you know what I'm saying? Like, so that's good. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can, the things that you are not the strongest at, you're still making sure that you can capitalize on what you know. This is stuff that you know, and you got people around you that are helping you with color grading and things like that. So that's dope. Because
also, Liem has a huge pipe.
Huge what?
Huge pipe.
Okay, I don't.
I'm not gonna ask. What?
It's a dick joke.
That's what I thought. I was like, well, that seems inappropriate.
I mean, I don't know. You guys are cousins, so
No, Tony said we need a huge pipe.
That's hilarious.
bandwidth.
Oh, for the AK.
Well, speaking of bandwidth, just for shits and giggles, since we're talking about it, so to upload these videos, because I'm trying to be smart about my finances and cut corners everywhere that I don't need to. So I haven't upgraded the internet plan. I'm going with the cheapest one. So it takes me 10 hours to upgrade one 3-hour 4K video.
Oh, okay, that's why you were like, don't worry, you're gonna get this, but it's gonna be a while.
Well, it's so I'll upload it overnight. No, the reason for that you don't get it for a while is my queue is literally like I have 2 months of videos in the queue.
Oh, okay.
To edit and
He's a one-man show.
Yeah.
He's a one-man post-production.
Got you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Liam.
Yeah. It's all good.
Liam.
My online alias is Mr. Pink as like a gamer tag.
Oh, okay.
And so he calls me Pink from sometimes. What's up?
All the time, but yeah. Anyway, why don't you convert the videos before you upload them? You can make them in a more efficient format that YouTube already likes.
They are in that. They're in the
Really, and it takes that long. What kind of internet do you have?
So fine. From a budgetary reason,
but it's regular residential internet that any person would be happy to have.
We have
Great.
1.5 gigs where I'm at.
It's the upload that they throttle the uploads, I think.
Yeah, correct.
Down is fine.
Yeah.
But it's when you go to upload, they throttle it huge.
Yeah, we have 50 megabit. I guess it's not that much. Fuck.
Oh, we're at 10. So you're at 50 up.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. So I would be done in like 2 hours. But so anyways, I figured
you don't sit there and watch it.
Yeah. So that's the big factor is I don't really need anything to do with uploading. So this household, that's the only thing that I need to that's the important thing to upload. So I'll just render the video and then I click upload and I just walk away for 10 hours. But I could still use the computer if I need to do other video editing. So it doesn't hold me up. So that's kind of like when I'm balancing the budget, the finances. Sure. Okay. It's like, do I want to spend an extra $100, an additional $100 a month to get this 10 megabits a second up to, I think it's 30 or 50 megabits a second. I'm like, would it help?
Well, I think like he was talking about earlier too. I think, it's definitely a chicken or egg thing, right? Because the internet gets faster, 8K actually becomes viable.
So if 8K cameras come down in price where it's viable for me to think that I should jump to that and pay for it, then I'll have to probably do the extra $100 a month on top of the internet to get, because I think at 8K that you're talking about a freaking probably
3 days.
Literally, it probably would be 2 to 3 days. So
how many terabytes you have with regard to drives?
I have
teraflops.
I think I have a 20 terabyte archive drive. So what I have like 3. I have my active drive. I have a semi-fast access bigger drive, and then I have my archive big drive. So the archive big drive is 20 terabytes. Each of these 3-hour sessions eat up about only 200 gigabytes, which depending on your.
Well, terabytes.
Terabytes. That's a lot.
Yeah.
You got 20 terabytes.
That's the kid's laptop right there.
Yes.
That's like 20 million, man. 200 gigs, that's nothing. That's light work, man. That's real.
Are you live streaming right now, G6?
Not live streaming, just getting a little,
looking at himself,
just a little record. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let me throw a little something up here. You know what I'm saying?
Social media, we got to do it.
Yeah, a little something, so I can post a little couple gigs since I'm, it's gonna be summertime by the time this come out. You feel me?
I like it.
By the time it drops. But, back on the Joe Rogan thing. It seems like at the end of the day, he's kind of like, is he kind of catering to the normalcies or the regular, the middle America?
I think I theorize he happens to be doing that out of his own personality and not because he's choosing money per se. So meaning he already loves MMA, he loves comedy, and he's just going towards that. He also he'll admit. So I'm not not trying to bash him by saying this. He'll say this on air. He'll say that he's not that smart. So
that's what I was going to say. And that's perfectly fine. Because,
so he happens to be able to cater to average America because he is mentally average America.
And then he's also it seems like, some people that are not that smart but are attempting to be over, like what they're not, or trying to be overly intellectual and stuff like that. Like if that's what, if you are, you are, you're not, as long as you can articulate and you're good, it's going to make sense. So I like that. Like I said, the Joe Rogan, the whole way that you brought that up, it's a good point. Cause I really didn't understand, like I get it, but just from the outside looking in, if I don't do my homework, she was like a regular guy talking about regular stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't watch them, so I can't even. I can't even speak on it.
But some of those are the most successful things. It's just like do you want to have a Gucci or Louis? Or you want Target? You get what I'm saying? You got Target. You're gonna make more.
A lot more volume.
Right.
A lot more shoppers.
And everybody can't go to Louis and Gucci and stuff like that. So that's kind of what I get from Joe Rogan. Like he's Target. He doesn't have. He's not trying to be Gucci or Louis or anything.
I think that's a good way to look at it. Yeah, that makes sense.
Though so when I said he has 85% of his guests are MMA and comedians. To me, I've said this before to probably you and Joe hundreds of times maybe, but it's the other percentile, the 15%. He interviews doctors, professors, specialists,
physicists,
specialists in
I
their
see a
fields.
couple artists every once in a while. Those are the ones I'll catch. I'll catch when you like interview like a rapper or something like that, or artist.
Yeah. So when he interviews the professors and all of them, that's actually what the inspiration for this podcast was, to interview people about their careers and see the wisdom that they bring and what their story is and how the audience can learn from that. And
it seems like you interview entrepreneurs as well. That's kind of in the beginning. I first started going on, a lot of podcasts, and they, most of them weren't necessarily focused on, they're focused on artists and stuff like that. So in a sense, since the whole, most artists talk about being independent and things like that, which we can go back and forth about that all day. Are you really independent versus do you have backing and stuff? So I guess artists are independent in a sense.
So are there recording studios in Vegas? If somebody has an album that they need to record.
Yeah. There's recording studios all over the city.
Okay.
Yeah. Billion has it. Like I said, if you guys want to come, you can go to a production studio, Studio B. Billion has a production studio. There used to be a real famous one at the Palms, but that's not. I think hopefully since the Palms is coming back,
they are coming back. Yeah,
hopefully soon, right? I think March or April or something like that.
Yeah, one of the big Indian casinos bought them up. And
okay, yeah, that was one of the famous. A lot of celebrities, would be there. Last time I was there, I was with 1500 or Nothing. They were actually that's Jay-Z's band. You know what I'm saying? So they were working in there, but it's a lot of people. Celine Dion, all type of stuff.
Yeah, I'm not in the music industry, so it's interesting that there's this recording industry here in Vegas. Not the biggest in the world, but it's something that I'm unaware of because I don't see it.
Yeah. No, that's not like a stupid question or anything. Yeah. There's for sure a lot of studios. There's hidden hideout studios. Shouts out to my guy Niche. He's an engineer over there, producer engineer over there. Yes, but it's a lot of.
You can't give us the address, right?
You said I can?
You can't, right? It's a hideout.
Oh yeah, facts off camera. But yeah. That's and a lot of like major hip hop artists they record there because a lot of people don't want to just go to the little small studios and stuff like that. Like I said, I feel like there's more smaller studios in Las Vegas. It's like compared to like LA. What I'm saying? I don't even know as far as San Diego is concerned.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but LA. I mean, it's weird because Vegas and San Diego are probably the two biggest cities close to LA. Mm-hmm. So in some way, if you're going into an entertainment industry, you're going to movies or singing or whatever, you might end up going to LA. Right. So it's this weird thing.
I feel like I've been in every studio in Vegas. Most likely, if it's got to be like a brand new studio if I haven't been there. But like all of the premiere ones, I've been.
Nice.
It's a lot. I wouldn't say it's like 100. You know what I'm saying? Because Vegas at the end of the day Vegas isn't that big, right? What's the population here?
2 million.
2 million, right?
2 million. Yep.
What's the population in just Los Angeles? We're not talking California.
It's definitely over
8 million.
10, over 10.
It's probably like pushing 10, right?
Well, so the weird thing about LA is there's LA City and there's LA County.
Right.
Yeah, so there's Orange County and Riverside, which they're separate counties, but if you're there, like I couldn't tell you where the line is, right? You just drive and it continues.
Right.
So it's one gigantic metropolis.
So the degrees of separation, I mean, they're not even 6 anymore. It's, with 2 million people and everybody's in the same space, you know what I'm saying? You run into so many of the same people. So I would say, just offhand, I would say you could probably go to about 15, 20 quality studios that are quality.
Here in Vegas?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Quality and size and quality as far as audio.
I guess I'll get my voice lessons.
There you go. Feel me? Come to MoneyTrain Management, man. I got you. Audio as far as having the space if you want to make sure that you can get some visuals in and things like that too. So
any sound stages out here?
Yeah. Like I said, you can come to Billion. That's where it's the film studio. So basically, the Backstreet Boys and Britney Spears and stuff like that, when they had their residencies and stuff like that, they would come and like audition. Well, not audition, but like
demos.
Exactly. They would come do that. So we book for things like that, and it's a nice little space, man. It's a nice little space. It's right off of Tropicana. You know what I'm saying? You can
pick up that guitar, Liem.
You can put that. You can put that in your GPS. You know what I'm saying? Just put in Billion Schmidt Studios, film studio. It'll pop right up.
Nice.
No, it's definitely solid, man. So I had opportunity, and you're in film, so I had opportunity of help running that too. So
I'm gonna go hang out in the parking lot till the Backstreet Boys show up.
I know, right? if they show back up, that was a while ago, because that was right before the like 2 years. That was
pre-COVID times.
Yeah. Like it didn't last long, right? They came through, did that, and it was like COVID showed up and just changed the whole game.
You can mix your film over there, Joe.
The film that he can't talk about.
I said you can mix your film over there, right on a sound stage, because they ain't nothing like mixing on the stage versus hearing it in a little room. And because like I said, I produced a film festival back in New York, and you have filmmakers come in, and it's only left and right 2-channel audio and stereo.
Which film festival?
Urban World Film Festival.
Oh, so
I'm one of the producers of that
really?
back in New York.
Okay.
So
you've heard of this show?
So
no,
that there'll be.
That sounds absurd.
No, so like we used to be.
Sounds absurd.
We used to be on AMC on 42nd Street. AMC between AMC and I forgot the other chain across the street. That location on 42nd Street.
So you're from New York? You're from New York.
I'm an Army brat. I lived all over, but New York is always going to be home.
I could tell.
So
same with you, Joe. You from New York?
What's that?
You from New York too, Joe?
No.
No, Tony's just telling the
I'm from
audience where it's at.
Oh,
So-
gotcha.
the Empire, whatever, across the
just
street.
vibing
So
with the story.
those two theaters were the highest grossing chains in the country.
Oh, okay.
Now there's a lot of times I've gone there in the afternoon during the day and like ain't nobody in this motherfucker. You know what I mean? But during the evening and the weekends, that's when they were the two highest grossing theaters in the country. Well, yeah, I say that because so filmmakers would come, they wouldn't mix their movie right. They might mix it in a little studio, a little at home in a closet or whatever they mix it on. And it's 2 tracks. And when you go to a movie theater, you're going to get at least, if it's going to at the very least be 5:1. So they're coming to you like, yo, why my movie sound like garbage? Why I sound like shit? I'm like, well, where did you mix it? Did you really mix it? If you just mix it at home with your Beats headphones, you hearing it.
Yeah.
You hearing it here versus going to a stage and having it mixed. And it's also the quality of the people you hire and you work with.
Right.
But mixing something in a little closet or in your
different.
living room
It's way different.
versus going to a sound stage and you can hear it and you can get all those different tracks of audio. You know what I mean? It's going to sound different. So they're like, you're taking something that's 2 channels and you're trying to put it in 5, 6 different speakers and wondering why, because your center channel might be your dialogue and you have left and right and so, effects and stuff may come in different speakers.
You got to talk to the mic, Tony.
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
Speaking of sound.
The sound guy.
So, a lot of times they're trying to take those 2 channels of audio and wonder why their film doesn't sound like how it sounded at home. I'm like, dude, you ain't mix it. You ain't go to a sound.
True.
You did your little mix at home with your boy or whatever, but you didn't go to an actual sound stage, had, sound design, had real sound design.
That's true.
Had a sound, had an engineer come in and whatnot, do Foley, do all these other things. And they don't think about it. They're like, yo, my shit sound like shit. I'm like,
Right. No, that's
dude,
true.
you didn't put and I understand resources, but we all know somebody, or you got to come up with the money somewhere.
You got to outsource too. That's why, like when we were shooting the Block Boy, that was the docu series that we were working on. We outsourced, and because we couldn't find. Well, I don't know if he knew anybody that was in Vegas that was well versed in that.
Yeah,
that's why we got Skeeter Jones to come out and actually do that. We had he directed and he did the visuals as well, but he had a whole team as well. You know what I'm saying? You got to have the audio team and things like that. But it's a lot of when people film out in Vegas, it's a lot of on location, like because like I said, it's not a lot now. Recording studios, there's a lot of not a lot of places to film. Like like you talk about like just big venues where you could actually film places.
Yeah,
nah, not from what I've seen. Nah, because I don't feel like people. They haven't really been taking it serious, like taking Vegas serious as that type of town.
Something random tangent with all that. So doing this podcast, I kind of thought Vegas would be a good hub because people love to gamble, so they're going to fly to Vegas. So I thought maybe in the long run, if this becomes a very successful podcast, it'd be easy to at that point be like, hey, I don't know, say someone semi-famous. I'm trying to think of a medium famous, but not famous. Yeah, someone that's not super famous. But I could say, hey, John Doe, why don't you come to Vegas and get on those podcasts? And then they'd be like, oh, I'd love to come to Vegas.
Exactly.
So I thought this might be a good hub for the podcast. I don't know. We'll see how things roll out.
Well, I'm here, man. So you're good. I'll be the pseudo famous, almost not famous.
Yeah, there you go.
Could be famous and around a lot of famous people. Yeah, no, that's true. And once again, so when we were talking about the podcast. Did you see it as a way for you to book people that were relevant to draw relevancy to your platform, or was this it was just something like we just kicking the shit? I don't want to say don't really care about the quality of your guests, but
that was okay. The I guess to be honest, it was more that I wanted to get to the point where the caliber that Joe Rogan, and then another one that I watch is Lex Friedman. Mm-hmm. He got like the CEO of Google, I forget his name, and then he got the philosopher Steven Pinker on. He got probably Neil. Did he get Neil? I think he got Neil deGrasse Tyson on there, but he got some big names. That's what I would love to get to that point. For sure. So the caliber of the guests, I would like to get to the point where it's like, holy shit, these are big known names.
So
but
when you're looking, because you go through your stuff like very meticulous. When you're looking at people that you want to invite to your platform, that's a part of the criteria, right? Like you want them to have a following and things like. They don't have to be, like you said, they don't have to be super famous, but it'll get to that, and it's like it's degrees, So someone might have a nice little following, but they'll know. I'm not, I'm not a billionaire, but I know billionaires type of situation, things like that. So
to be honest, I don't feel that I'm at that point where I get those caliber of guests. Where I'm going to say caliber where their Instagram is big followers, their Facebook, they already have a YouTube channel.
Famous people. What's big? Like when you think big following, what's a big following?
I think from what I would say what this channel it seems to be capable of right now, right this second, because this channel is still growing. When I invite people that have more than 10,000 subscribers on their channel, they seem to reject me because they're too busy. So it seems, I feel that
followers are different though. Like what about people that have more than 10,000 followers on Instagram, not subscribers?
On Instagram, I would say the numbers around, it seems to be 100,000.
Okay.
So on YouTube, it's 10,000 and then Instagram's 100,000. So if they have more than that, then usually they reject me just because they're so busy. They already have so much business.
But I think what's different is that you're finding people now that are interesting people that have something worthwhile to talk about.
True.
They got something going on, right?
True.
Yeah, like you were saying, of the billions of people, there's a lot of regular people, right?
Right.
If you have just a regular guy on, he's going to come on and complain about his job and whine
That's
about deal. I got to get up early and take my kids to school.
That's
It's
true.
like, well, we already know that story. You got to find somebody who has a different story.
That's true.
So I think you're doing a great job of curating people that are interesting and have something worth listening to.
Because that's the thing in Vegas that I notice is you have to sit just from Vegas people. In LA, it seems like you can kind of tell if somebody's interested or not, even in a couple of seconds, or maybe even just if you kind of see them from afar or see their you might check into their following or whatnot, or check into their Instagram.
Yeah.
In Vegas, to really understand if somebody's interested, to me, you got to sit down with them.
Yeah.
I met a lot of interesting people, but you kind of got to sit down and kind of go through that vetting process, you know?
Yeah. And I think the need for famous people, because that will get you more views and more subscribers and more popularity. And then why do you want that? Because we are talking, and you don't want to talk to an empty room, right?
Right.
You don't want to make a show and nobody's watching. So in the other direction, the more people that see it, the better, right? So there is some value and cachet to being famous.
That's true.
Because it'll draw more.
Yeah. I don't know if this analogy will answer your question earlier. I do feel that within the ballpark that I'm in, so that ballpark is around under 10,000 YouTube subscribers, under 100,000 Instagram followers. I do my research within that ballpark. So any player, any manager, any person that I see in that ballpark, I have my template. I email. I do my spam, but it's
good
me
spelling.
Yeah, with good spelling.
He's going to disrespect the spamming him, but he's going to do the spamming to the other the big wigs.
So and from time to time, I still actually send an email to those the 10 million followers, subscribers. I still try. A lot of them reject me. There's been a couple that were like in the 100,000 followers and on I think YouTube, and they're like, yeah, we're interested. Then they'd like give me, well, reach back in this date. So I reached back, and then they'd like come back like, yeah, we're really interested, but then the schedules never happen. So at least
so you think that, so no matter how you slice it, you think that at the end of the day they're not coming because of your following. They don't think that you're big enough.
Yes. So
this is just management asking. So what would you guys want to do to take it to another level so people will be able to see that? Because that's how you get the looks. The more you guys have the viewers, the followers, which the press or whatever, which leads to verification at some point, blue check. I mean, these are all places that you want to end up to garner this, because people that have 100,000 followers, they're usually verified.
I don't know if the answer would be money at the end, like an X amount. I think maybe off camera we could talk about specifics,
for sure.
But I guess how would I talk about that without? I don't want to give away too much information.
No, I get it. Well, no, I'm just asking. Like, are you up for that? Is that the way that you guys would want to go? Because some people that have podcasts and stuff like that, they're not. They're like, I'm cool with whatever. I'm cool with not having this and the third. But it seems like you're like, nah, I want to get
bigger, but I think there's a budgetary things that I'm financial things that I'm looking at. Where's the best way to bang for the buck? And then also
we'll talk off camera.
Yeah.
Okay. Got you. I'll help you. I got you. Cause that, like I said, I see value, and I'm like, let's capitalize, like I said, when I first started rocking with Jake, he had like 1,000 followers.
Yeah.
So Angie had like 1,000, as well. They're both growing. So it's like everybody's following a certain template. Everybody's following, like they're moving in a certain progressive way. We can make some stuff happen for sure.
Awesome.
Is Joe's video on the display? Will Joe's video be showing?
Oh yeah. Everybody will see how high he is. I've actually, a random thing. Another
quote of a high person.
Another tangent. I've had some people reach out, and they say they watched my podcast, the ones that involve marijuana and whatnot. So then I was like, well, I've only had like probably 2 episodes that talk about marijuana. And then, but now since having Joe on for the last month or two, I was thinking, well, we could somehow make a game out of, like, if the audience member smokes, they could watch you, and whenever you smoke, they should smoke. But I don't know how we would. I don't know how we would.
Sounds dangerous.
I know. I smoke on a lot of my other platforms that that allow it for some, but I've been switching it up because, like I said, I saw you guys as a business one. I mean, I've seen Angie with the bong and stuff like that, but I don't be smoking bongs and stuff like that. You smoke blunts. So,
makes it hard to go 3 hours.
Well, it depends on the person.
It depends on the person, right.
Joe's having a hard time.
He can't be having a hard time. He's the comfort of his own house.
There ain't no hard time happening anywhere around.
He said it can't get no worse than that, man. That's real. Yeah, I used to smoking a lot of them, but I've just been chilling.
Are you saying Joe is the bait for the marijuana viewing population?
I think it might be fun depending on some of the viewers that wanna smoke and listen to a podcast. They could watch him, and then whenever he hits it'd be like a game.
No, that's
Can you keep up with Joe?
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. You smoking a joint? You were smoking a joint, right?
I'm gonna be judged on this.
You smoke joints, Joe? What do you smoke?
I mostly smoke bongs.
Okay.
No, I smoke joints once in a while.
Final answer.
I just haven't wanted. I have
This is a different bong.
dab rig, but my bong got broken, so I've been having to smoke weed out of this.
That take me back to high school.
Rig, and
Right. Yeah.
Dabbing stronger, right?
That's Beverly Hills high
Dabbing
school type stuff, man. Bongs and stuff like that.
Hey, man.
When we was on Crenshaw 30, man, we smoking blunts. You feel me?
I know dudes that would make a bong out of an apple. You ever seen that?
Oh, yeah, I seen
that.
Apple,
Apple
just little
skins.
I
cans,
used to
you
smoke out of
know.
foil pipes.
They had a little one-hitter quitter, tinfoil, you know.
Right. Nah, I
I'm
see
glad
that.
I can
Beverly
just
Hills
go to
way
a
more
drive-through and
creative.
use my debit card to buy weed, order ahead online. I love the future.
You're living in the 21st
Oh,
century.
yeah, the
goddamn
whole
right I am,
weed
dude.
industry. The whole weed industry is different now, man. I mean, could you believe it now? Like with dispensaries and stuff like that. Like, I mean,
No.
that's just crazy,
Like,
right?
like I said, I literally place an order before I leave work, go through the drive-through, give my debit card.
Oh, nice.
It's easier than Chick-fil-A. Easier than Chick-fil-A.
That's
Because you
wild.
can't accidentally run over somebody with an iPad.
That's a fact, man.
I thought they only took cash. There's spots that take debit now.
I feel like
up here there is.
they
Man.
probably taking Bitcoin
Here
at
in
this
Oregon.
point. Feel me?
Yeah, man.
Okay.
They're taking
Yeah.
Bitcoin, I'm sure, man. They taking whatever, crypto,
Yeah.
all type of shit now.
Yeah.
Can you buy it already in the Swisher Suite?
Yeah,
They
you
have
can buy
that?
whatever you want. Yeah, they have pre-rolls of. Yeah,
I would imagine that's the hard work. Is
Where
getting
do you
into-
go? Which dispensary?
There's a place called Green Mart here in Beaverton, Oregon.
Green Mart.
Oh, you're in Oregon?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm
I
in
get it.
Oregon.
I get it.
Oh, you guys are.
I thought
Hey,
you were in
they just
Vegas.
finesse-
No, I'm
yo,
not
y'all
there.
just finessed me, man. I'm thinking
I'm
that
up
you.
here.
I'm thinking you in Vegas. He said I'm in Oregon.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
no.
Oregon got some good. Oregon got some good weed. I've been out to Oregon before.
Yeah, hell yeah, we do, man.
Oregon, Seattle.
See, Oregon,
Yeah,
Seattle.
yeah.
Yeah.
That THC
This
count.
area is pretty lit with this.
Yeah,
There's,
I've
there's
been out there.
Greenland down here, but it's just Korean supermarket.
How far is what you said, Beaverton? How far is that from Portland? I've only been to Portland.
20 minutes at most.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, it's right there.
So you a
It's-
Trailblazers
it's
fan?
Portland. I do like the Blazers, yeah, but
He's like, yeah, but all right.
I mean, I don't know. Like,
Enough said.
Basketball's not your thing, or it is what it is.
no, I mean, I'm more of a Pistons fan because I lived in Michigan for a little while, and that was the only time I ever actually liked watching real sports.
But you are old school Pistons fans because the Pistons are like last place right now. Or you just still a fan, regardless, real fan.
I am a fan, but only because I could have gone to the Malice at the Palace and I didn't. And it's
That's
always bothered me.
crazy. Okay, all right.
Hey, is
Yeah.
Rasheed Wallace still playing, or did he finally retire?
Fuck if I know.
I was about to say that's a super high question, and he knows the answer. Rasheed, man, he was cool. I
He's a
met
beast.
Rasheed a long time ago.
Yeah?
I met Rasheed
Oh, really?
Wallace.
Nice.
Yeah, I met Rasheed Wallace when they were playing not Detroit, when he was playing with Portland. He was playing with Portland.
Yeah.
I know
When
they
they
was
were playing the
playing. Yeah,
Lakers?
that was a good. I just caught what you said because he played for both of them, and they were playing the Lakers. Yeah. I seen Rasheed out there.
Was that the playoffs?
Mm-hmm.
That was for the chip.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
with the Western Conference Final. Yeah,
I remember that.
yeah.
Rasheed was cool. He was good people. And I used to play basketball at UCLA all the time, so they would always come. You know what I'm saying? Come out there and play. You know, Kobe would be out there. R.I.P. to Kobe. He would come through. I mean, everybody, man. The whole NBA used to come through. We used to play pickup games when I was super young.
Nice.
That was dope though, man.
Wait,
Like,
where was this?
UCLA. Yeah.
All right.
The UCLA
Fair enough.
men's gym
Fair
that was
enough,
right next to the Wooden Center.
They have a
Right.
good film school there.
Yeah.
You would tie it all up.
Right. He's like, let's
I've
make
heard
it
of
make
that.
sense.
I thought that was USC.
Uh,
USC had the better
has
film
the better
program.
film, right?
Yeah.
I didn't say that.
Yeah.
Are you saying they're not good?
No, but I mean USC is what's known for their
true.
their film
film
program.
program.
Yeah,
Which campus is in Brentwood?
UCLA.
Yeah, UCLA.
USC is in the hood.
USC is in the hood.
But,
That's
yeah,
a fact.
yeah.
There's like a movie theater on every corner in Brentwood.
That's a fact.
It's weird. Yeah.
I used to always go to UCLA, like that whole UCLA Westwood experience as a kid. And, you know what I'm saying? Go to watch the movies and go get the little burgers from the little cheap burger spot, stuff like that. Those are the good old days. You could just, like I said, you just go up there and just hoop, and you be at the men's gym, and literally you don't have to go to the Wooden Center. You could just go to the regular men's gym, and superstars is coming in there.
Superstars come and dunk all over you.
Facts. definitely. But this is when I was young, so you know what I'm saying, I was doing my thing, you feel me? I was smooth. Like, you know, when you just super young and you just doing your stuff, like you get credit just for being the 14, you know what I'm saying? And 15, 16 balling with the big dogs, you know what I mean? Yeah. That shit's dope.
All right, let's get into the final questions section.
Bum, bum, bum. It's
3 hours already
now.
2.5, so we got.
Oh yeah, we moving.
I'm going to get into G6's real deep feelings.
Let's get to it.
First question. What great daily habit or habits do you have?
Praying, smoking weed. Shout out to my guy, Joe.
Big Joe.
Yeah, praying, working out, the gym, you know, praying.
And posting on social media.
Kush.
Wake and bake.
Yeah.
If for the smoking thing, do you find that smoking eliminates your ego at all?
Eliminates my ego? Probably not. I don't. That whole ego, what an ego is, I don't even. It's like I know, but I don't. That's one of those things. It's like luck. It's like, because some people attribute ego to, if you think too much of yourself, you have an ego. But it's like, well, I always think too much of myself. So does that mean I got an ego?
You can't be a Kanye fan if you let go of your ego.
Right. I rock with Kanye. I wouldn't necessarily say I'm a fan, but I respect. I get it.
Boy, it's talented.
I mean, you know, I respect his talent. I respect anybody that's talented at something. But yeah, no, I wouldn't say I don't even know if I've heard that put that way. You're smoking and your ego's gone.
For me, it does. Like I'm whatever thoughts. I don't know how would I describe this. Whatever thoughts I have from a masculine testosterone filled mind, like when I smoke marijuana, that seems to be like, I love everyone. I have no desire to, even without marijuana, I don't really have a desire to be greedy, but even with marijuana, it's even more so. Like, I really want to help everyone. I want to love everyone.
Okay. So you cookies and bubbles once you hit the blunt. You hit the blunt, everything is like cookies, bubbles, and butterflies, and everything is great. The world is great.
You're starting to sound like a hippie.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I wouldn't necessarily say like your ego. It just seems like you just get more chill than you already seem that you are. You seem like you're a chill guy, you know?
Yeah. How about you, Joe? Do you lose your ego, or do you get bubbly when you smoke?
He wants to kill people right now.
I just get more loose. I mean, it doesn't really change my overall attributes, in my opinion. I could be wrong, but
yeah, it's like, well, it motivates. It motivates me in certain aspects, and yeah, like I said, I like smoking. You know, before I go to the gym. You know, sometimes I like, because it's almost like sometimes you might focus on something. Like if you're not high, you know what I'm saying, you might not do that last set. But if you high, you just like, I don't give a fuck. Like
I don't understand that. People that, so for me, whether it be sativa or indica.
Yeah, I'm an indica guy. That sativa stuff it's not really much.
I wouldn't imagine ever wanting to hit weights when I'm on indica or sativa. So I have friends that are like you, and they smoke and they're like, yeah, I'm going to go for a jog. I'm like, you out of your mind? I'm going to sit on this couch.
No, that's true. Because like I said, it's something about, you know, I never done drugs, like nothing like that. So like weed, you know, that it does it for me. It's like it's an upper. It's not a downer. You know, it's like if I smoke and if it's already 12 or 1 a.m. in the morning and stuff like that, of course I'm just like, all right, you know, whatever, I might just chill out. But it's an upper really for me. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you want to smoke and go do stuff. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to smoke. Like if I'm not going to do nothing, I might smoke still, but it's like I don't want to just smoke and not do nothing. I like smoking and actually going to do stuff. You know, if we're going to go, you know, chill at a party or go function or go handle some business and stuff like that. Not like some, you know, big high level business, but you know,
don't sign any contracts.
Yeah. I wouldn't say sign a contract unless you got your lawyer with you. Now you can be high as you want if you just got your lawyer with you. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Good advice there. We got the nuggets of wisdom.
That's going on
Always
TikTok.
keep your lawyer. Always keep a lawyer with you when you're signing your contract.
All right, next question. What do you know or think of cryptocurrency?
I know it's the new wave and it's taking over. What do I think about it? I don't know much. You know, I'm not an expert. I just know it's the new wave. It's taking over, and it seems like it's really gonna be here to stay because everybody, you know, you can't go a day without hearing somebody talk about it. And
Jake Gallen hasn't sold you on a crypto yet?
nah, he like I said, Jake, you know, we just be so busy, man. I told Jake, I'm like, look, man, I gotta get down with you in the NFTs and all that type of stuff, but you know, you got to sit and really understand that type of stuff. I feel like most people that understand that stuff, they already understand aspects of things that are like that in a certain way already. So it just, they naturally, it's like, okay, they acclimated to that. You know, I've never been like I'm not a gamer. Also, a lot of that crypto and NFT stuff, I feel like my son, you know, he plays video games all the time. Like the concept of NFTs and the concept of, you know, buying video game skins and things like that. Like I feel like they understand that already. So I don't really understand that at a certain level where I'm gonna be putting a whole bunch of money into it. But I get it. It's the new wave, you know.
I think that's a good point where either if someone's a software engineer or someone's a financial person, whether they deal with stocks, I feel like they got a leg up into the crypto world.
Right.
Anybody else, it's like blockchain is so complicated. I'm able to barely read through certain white papers of blockchains,
Right.
Or cryptocurrency, however you want to describe it. But that shit is complicated. Like I could only read probably maybe 50% of that stuff. The other 50%'s over my head. And I'm a software engineer. That shit's freaking math, man.
Right. You're used to numbers and that stuff's still confusing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So
I'd need an expert to walk me through that whole process for sure.
I wonder where I guess there's already, this is just random thoughts. So there's financial advisors that deal with stocks, and surely there's already people trying to do financial advising with crypto
advisors,
but it feels like it's not really a solidified profession or industry yet. Mm-hmm. Obviously, because crypto isn't solidified too, but
when more regulation comes in, you know, I mean, you already see institutional investors jumping in, and they're probably buying the dip like crazy right now. But once there's more regulation, everybody's waiting to see what the Biden administration is going to do, because they've been talking about, you know, regulating and getting in now. So a lot of people are just waiting. I feel like wait and see. You know, unless you got that
wait too long. A lot of people don't want to wait too long and miss the vibe, miss the wave, right?
But you know, you got people looking at it, you know, because you know the old traditional brick and mortar stockbrokers, them cats, they don't really get it yet. They know there's money to be made, but they don't want to dump in a lot of money if they fully can't understand it, and they don't understand what the regulation is going to be. True. Because you don't want to get in and we get a China where they pull the rug out from under you. You know, no more Bitcoin, no more mining, all these other things, and they're banning crypto. So I think people are on a wait and see.
That's true.
Now you have other cats like
I agree with that. Yeah, I think that's a pretty fair assessment.
What you got, MicroStrategy or Micro? Who
I think MicroStrategy.
Yeah, who was like dumped mad money into Bitcoin, and he's betting heavy on it. But a lot of us, you know, so are on the sideline waiting. You know,
right. That's a bet that might not everybody might not want to make. So I understand. I agree. Your take on it, Liem? Or this is just you asking me? Okay.
Yeah, I'm a software engineer. I love blockchain. I think it's a paradigm shift. I think I'm kind of on the polar side of everyone should get in. It's from a technological standpoint, there has never been anything like this before.
No.
What blockchain does, the consensus mechanism, there's nothing like it. So just that alone, any blockchain invest some money in, hope for the best. Right. But that's me speaking from a technological side. There's the human side, sure.
Just jump in just because the water's warm.
Yeah. Actually, yes. That would be the short answer. But there's the human side that I can't predict at all. There's you got the regulators. You don't know if they're going to come down hard. There's the finance people in Wall Street. You don't know if they're going to fuck the market. They could come in with heavy money and then do a bunch of not really rug pulls. They could.
I know a few bigwigs that did that, and that shit is real. They can tip the scale.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you know, you're looking at watching the wells. What the wells are going to do.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
But I think for me, from a software side, that blockchain you can't delete it. You literally can't delete it. So that in itself is something we have. You'd have to EMP bomb the entire world, electromagnetic pulse, whatever.
Yeah.
You'd have to kill every computer, every chip, everything. I mean, every cell phone.
God.
You'd have to kill everything to stop blockchain.
You can't stop blockchain.
Yeah, so virtually, I'm going to say it's unstoppable. The government could try to kill some of our backbone internets, but then they're shooting themselves in the foot if they do that, because then you shut down internet from West Coast to East Coast to try to stop blockchain. That'd be stupid. So
Right, that's true.
Can't shut down Netflix. It'll be a revolution.
No.
yeah, there you go. So I think
The
blockchain
revolution will not be televised on Netflix.
kind of a, I guess slightly funny. I don't know. I had someone message me the other day and they said, "Hey, where should I invest?" And I just told him my opinion. If he just wants to get his feet in or he has money, then just invest in Bitcoin and Ethereum. And then I threw this. Obviously, is not YouTube. This is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. But I texted my friend back and I said, I theorize Ethereum and Bitcoin. So Ethereum at, say, it's 2,400 right now. I forget the exact figure, but I think in 10 years I think it could easily hit 200,000 a coin. So you're talking about 100x in 10 years.
True.
And obviously I can't predict the future, but the way I see how Ethereum is growing, I think it makes sense to me. So then he texts back, he's well, I want something more than that, than 100x.
Oh,
I'm
my
like,
Lord.
yeah, right? I'm like, this is 100x. Like
What more could you want?
You got 100x of anything in your bank account right now.
Yeah.
He wants exponential.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
wants that now, and he wants that.
So then
now.
We all.
Right, you know what I mean?
I just replied back, said, if you want to play on the meme coins, that's your prerogative. Those you win big and you lose big.
That's gambling.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. But even Ethereum, I could if I want to play devil's advocate on myself, sure, Ethereum could go to zero.
Right.
But right now I don't. If I see that, then I'll let everybody know.
But you don't see that.
I don't see that. It seems like right now it's really tough to.
It's huge. I see a lot of people talking about they don't even want to. They only want to deal in crypto in certain instances. You know, they only want to deal in Ethereum. I've heard major rappers is like, I don't even want to carry around all this money anymore. Yeah. I just want to. I'll trade it in. You know what I'm saying? Artists are saying book me in crypto.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like I said, I'm sure people are gonna start gambling, and they're using that as well.
Yeah, I think you're touching on something that. So the eternal struggle for Liem is like friends, because he's been into crypto a while, and friends will be like, oh, should I invest? Should I buy some? Should I whatever? And he'll tell them, hey, buy some of this and hold it. And people just seem to be unable to do that. And it seems to be that people are either wanting to gamble, like you just pointed out how ridiculous that is. I want this to more than multiply 100 times.
But they're not trying to gamble.
Yeah, well, see, they see it as it's literally like it's that same desire. I want to win big money. I want big money now. I want and that's not investing, right? That's not smart, safe investing. But then on the other side, anybody who is a smart, safe investor goes, it's too risky. There's other smart, safe investments. I can go buy stocks. So it seems that people will fall off to either side and not do the smartest possible thing you could do with cryptocurrencies. Just buy some and hold on to it. Just get a chunk.
They go to stocks because they probably feel more comfortable. Like they gotta know. You gotta know something about stocks for you to want to just jump to that. Because everybody's not just gonna want to go to stocks if you don't know nothing about that. You're in the same boat.
Yeah, I mean, there's an easy way to buy the stock market. You can buy Vanguard, S&P 500. It's VOO.
The index funds and
you can just buy that and
and that's.
But I mean, you have to be like you said, you have to have some level of knowledge or education. You have to educate
because that stuff
yourself.
is going to matriculate regardless.
Yeah. So I mean, as long as the stock market doesn't disappear, then you should be. That's the safest way you can go. Proven over the last 100 years.
Okay.
So
and that's always successful at the end of the day. Is what it sounds like, right?
You got YouTube TV?
No.
Check out what is it? Titans, The Rise of Wall Street.
Okay.
So it takes you back from J.P. Morgan back in the day, his father.
All right. Yeah.
Up until right now, they're up to Michael Milken and Ivan Boesky.
Okay.
So it's just.
I mean, the stories of the people.
Yeah, they don't go into a lot of technical detail with regard to the trades and whatnot, but you get the history of the stock market and Wall Street and how New York took it away from London because London at one point was the financial capital of the world in the 1800s, whatever, and how we took it
I like all those movies, man.
Yeah.
I like all of
great.
all of the Wall Streets. I like all those movies.
Yeah.
You know, but when it comes to that stuff, that's that's a different game plan too.
I think to jump on Emmett's train of thought. So there's the people that want to gamble and they actually don't think it's gambling. They think they're being smart investors, oddly.
Right.
And then there's the people that are already investing in stocks that are too scared to go into crypto. So it's a weird, that's like, it encompasses probably 99% of all people.
Yeah.
Probably. I don't know. But so
Well,
then
I was just noting because over the years you keep telling people, hey, do this. So like just buy some and hold on to it. And nobody seems to be able to do it. Like they fall one way or the other.
yeah.
And
And even
what's the clear cut difference in like crypto and stocks? Is there a clear cut like, okay, this does this, like you don't want to hold on to? You know, I'm not. You know,
crypto, if cryptos should be built on a blockchain. I'm being careful on my wording because some cryptos are centralized, so their software underneath is not decentralized like Bitcoin and Ethereum. Most, I would say, probably 99% of all cryptocurrencies are true blockchains, but there's some that aren't true cryptocurrency. In my opinion, when I say cryptocurrency, I want it to be
Like what?
decentralized.
Give me one example.
Ripple.
are you holding on to that? That's what I want
Really?
to understand.
I do. I have some Ripple because I feel like they could be the stepping stone for the government. And I like if the government wants a centralized coin, then I want to be there to hold that coin ahead of time. Do I think it's the future? I don't think so. But so I'm making a educated bet, I guess. So meaning within
That's one of the ways it could go.
Yeah.
They got to get past the SEC first, though.
Yeah. Which
So
They gotta
are you
get through that
holding on to-
lawsuit.
Like, are you holding on to the cryptos, or are you getting them and trading them? Or is
so
like,
you're okay.
Like you get stock.
Hard
Some
luck.
stocks you get, you might hold for however long. You know, that might be your long term investment. Some stocks you might get, and when you see, a surge or whatever, then you might want to trade it. Crypto, is that the same situation, or is it like you're just trading it? You're getting
No,
it,
I'm
trading
not.
it?
I'm just holding.
Okay, so you're holding everything, or I'm not sure if you're in stocks.
So-
I'm just talking crypto.
I have some stocks, but very little now. I used to have, at one point, stocks used to be 10 times bigger than my crypto. And now my crypto is
10 times bigger.
99 times. Well,
Wow.
I did pull out some of my stocks because of the timing, but
Did you reinvest some of the stock in crypto? Was that like a?
there was a move on that too.
Okay.
But yeah,
don't want to tell your hand, but it kind of seems like you kind of just quick little switch.
Crypto's probably, I don't know it's vastly bigger than my stock portfolio now.
Gotcha.
I suggest to everyone,
But because it's grown so much over the years.
and that's what I've been telling people: just buy and hold.
Yeah.
Now, what's the end game? I do think I theorize crypto will take over the world. I think it will touch everything. I think it will be like if you said 25, 30 years ago, everyone will have a cell phone. That's what crypto is going to be. I don't know. I don't know how long it's going to be. Another 25 years or less. Hopefully, I hope in 15 years, everyone will be dealing with crypto, whether they know it or not, or whether they care or not. It's going to be crypto
You
underneath.
think it won't be any more dollar bills?
That is a huge question. I don't know how that's
You
going
mean physical bills or U.S. dollars?
Oh yeah. Okay. So
You can have digital U.S. dollars, right?
Well,
I can Zelle you. I can Venmo
right,
you some money.
Zelle. Okay, yeah. Just physical.
I
Because I feel like once it's all digital anyway, something about that still feels like it's
tangible.
right.
What happened, man? I mean, me personally, I don't think it's gonna go away for a long time because you got that grandma who's gonna hold it underneath the mattress, the pillow, and people, it's just.
I could tell you why physical bills are going to hang around for a while. Because we still have fucking pennies, and those are so worthless.
Oh my god, they're so worthless. You have no idea what this are. Oh my god.
What can you even buy for less than $1 these days? Like it's really hard to think of something.
That
Like
sauce
if you,
at Popeyes?
yeah, if you have $1 bill,
an add-on is hot sauce.
yeah, if you have a whole dollar bill, it is very hard to think of what. There's very few things left you can buy.
I feel like it'll be faster than we think, though. So I think how many people have used some type of form of payment on their phone or some type
Right,
of credit
we all
card?
do.
Credit card's already digital,
right.
so we're not very far off. I think.
Well, I
feel-
think we just have more and more options to do it. I don't think it necessarily kills the old ways.
Yeah.
So like when Vanilla Ice was rolling in his 5.0 with his drop top down in Miami, it was inconceivable that in the future everybody would be walking around with a freaking computer in their pocket. Nobody would thought that would be possible.
Right, that's true.
But there's still dudes that drive Mustangs.
That's true. That's true.
So
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
just-
so I think we have more and more, advances and sophistication in technology. I think the old stuff it gets minimized, but it doesn't die away as quickly as. So I think you're broadly right that the future is changing faster, and
because people just need money for resources or whatnot. It's not like you don't need the physical money, or you don't really need money unless there's a resource for it. That's like what Elon Musk said. Like money's a database for for resources and stuff like that. Like for resource allocations, that's what it is. If you got money and you're on an island, you can't do nothing with it. You have to be able to get stuff if you can't resource the money. So it's kind of one of those things.
But I think even a better analogy is look at books. Look
That's
at
true.
how long, when Gutenberg or whatever the name came out with the printing press, we still have books. I mean, I do I'm a firm believer in the blockchain and crypto like Liem, but I think it's going to be a while before we lose money, like physical
true.
dollars.
That's
you know what I
true.
mean? Because there's nothing like reading a book.
No, and there's nothing like counting some stacks. I feel you.
There's something there.
You can't throw digital at a stripper.
Because I mean,
you can't Venmo the stripper.
yeah,
You feel me?
Cash app, baby.
Right. Yeah, I know, right?
But because I think it's just until we all get there as a society, globally, you know what I mean? Until we all can understand, may not necessarily fully understand the ins and outs of the technology, but get a better grasp of it.
Right.
Money ain't going away.
No, that's true. That's true. What's the question? What's a good start if you wanted to tell somebody that didn't know anything about crypto? Like, what's a good start to invest?
I think
I don't want to say because you were talking about like dollars on YouTube, so kind of same question, but with crypto. What's
I
a
would
good
say
start?
if a complete beginner, just go on Coinbase, create an account, which I think they ask for your driver's license. It's just like a bank account. And then after that, if I always tell people always invest with a disposable income. So if you could disposably throw away $100, invest $100. If you could throw away $1,000, then invest $1,000.
Okay.
And then for now, I would just suggest Bitcoin and Ethereum. Just invest maybe, I would suggest 75% in Ethereum and 25% into Bitcoin. So if you have $1,000, put $750 in Ethereum, $250 in Bitcoin. And then I think I like how Emmett says,
And just hold. And then just
try holding for 6 months and see how you feel about it.
Okay.
I would suggest once you get comfortable, you want to try to use
Buy doggy coins.
No.
Oh, no. Okay.
Once you understand enough and are
No safe move.
Dogecoin.
once you hopefully have done your research and start to understand more after 6 months, hopefully by that time you're going to be like, holy shit, this is the future. I need to buy more. So then try to get in as much disposable income as you can.
So it's just that simple. You just made it that simple. You just get it and hold. You're not out here playing. It's not the Wild West.
And on top of that, anybody that I theorize 99% of people that tell you they're day trading with crypto, I bet you none of them have made more than me by holding.
Smart. I get it.
So many people have tried to do day trading. You win some and you lose some. Mm-hmm. Holding is just kind of easy. You just buy and hold,
and it's going to go up no matter how you slice it.
Exactly. And the big thing is you want to wait for those bull runs. The bull runs is those moments where it goes parabolic. Mm-hmm. If you hold for 2, 3, 5 years, 7 years, you're going to hopefully be able to hit 2 or 3 bull runs, and that's the big money making times.
And your 1,000 can turn into all types of tens of thousands, possibly.
Turn into 50 grand. Yeah.
And now's a good time to buy.
250 grand.
I mean, it's crazy
off
because
$1,000.
Yeah, it's crazy because it multiplies like other good investments,
right? Like stocks and stuff. Right.
Stocks will go up. You have a good year, you got 10%.
Ethereum and
Ethereum and Bitcoin.
Yeah, it's not a game. I heard, but everybody makes it seem like Bitcoin was kind of, it's still cool.
That's interesting. I do agree with that. I feel like
and this is, I don't know nothing about this. Yeah.
Bitcoin's kind of, it was the grandfather. So it has the original, like if you want to call it a 1.0 code version,
right?
All these new coins came out and they have like a 2.0 or even a 3.0, depending on how you want to view it. I view Ethereum as a 2.0. And Ethereum is actually potentially going to be changing to a 3.0 later this year. So
Bitcoin's, I think it's strength, but also its crutch. Bitcoin wants to stay 1.0. There is power to that, but there's also flaws to that. So depending on what side of the fence you are, I think Ethereum is superior, but I understand people that
I don't even understand it. I've heard people say that for some reason because I guess it didn't cost so much and now it costs so much or something like that.
It's like a diesel truck.
Are they doing any smart contracts on Bitcoin yet, or is that coming?
They have a bunch of layer 2 stuff, which is kind of similar to that, where so there's Bitcoin's 1.0 blockchain, and then people are building software.
Okay.
Kind of
on layer 2.
Yeah,
okay.
outside but touching it.
Okay.
And so you could kind of get those things done with that, but it's still a lot. It's still a lot slower than the ETH, though, right? I think there's different ways they have to programmatically, like, probably. I'm speaking beyond my knowledge to some degree. I think they probably have to escrow some of that funds to make sure that smart contract. If someone questions that smart contract, hey, is there enough money in there? Then they could say, oh yeah, there's an escrow of X amount of dollars in there.
Do you put any goals with the crypto and stuff like that? Like, do you say, I want this to hit a certain amount, or is your goal to literally like, I'm just going to hold? Is there a 5-year plan, a 10-year plan? It's probably something for your kids that you want to use for your college fund, their college fund or something like that? Or
for me personally, there's an X dollar amount in there. There's a dollar amount. Once I reach that, then I'll probably pull out some.
Got you.
The funny thing from a theoretical standpoint, if I'm sitting here and saying the crypto is the future, why would I ever want to pull some out? And I mentally battle myself. I'm like torn when that moment comes where I'm like, oh shit, I got that much money, I got to pull it out,
and it's in an account, so you can still use it for things. Like you can book stuff with your crypto.
You can, but once I pull it out, then like just say for example, just what if say you bought one Ethereum for $2,500. Just say what if today.
Okay.
5 years from now, that has turned from $2,500. 5 years from now, it is $75,000 from that $2,500 investment or whatever. Okay. Would you be inclined to pull it out, or you think at that point it could go up to $200,000? So
So it's one of those things. It's like it's really pointless. You're just gonna watch it grow. Yeah. There's no drawback to this. Like this is just the hottest stuff smoking, and there's no negative nothing. It's always
the
just
negative. The negative thing is just if there's whales out there playing the market, or if regulations can slow it down. That's real. I don't think regulations could ever stop it, because this is literally an unstoppable global phenomenon. That the government can't stop. They could hurt it. They could like try to cut the backbone internet off. East West Coast,
I get what you're saying.
They could try to hurt it. Yeah, that might hurt for a couple of years. People will be like, "Oh, fuck crypto," because the government says it's bad. But eventually, the programmers and all these smart people are like, "No, this is good shit. This is really fantastic."
They're talking about this is the biggest boom since the boom.
Yeah.
Like it's $1 trillion situation now, and
well, it's over. It is more than that.
Yeah,
right.
I'm sure it hit the $1 trillion mark.
Right, I'm sure.
It's already. I think Bitcoin is the what was the term? The biggest
market cap.
The biggest financial gain from what was the wording? The biggest multiplier of all time.
Bitcoin was?
Oh, if you had bought some early.
Yeah, there's never been anything ever
like it.
Like you could have bought I don't know, like a home and then wait. Well, shit,
that could have bought Qualcomm stock.
Yeah, but it's never ever reached the.
So this is killing all of the old school. If I would have bought Microsoft, if I would have bought Disney, this is killing that. Bitcoin is already.
Oh yeah.
You always hear those articles like, if you had owned $100 worth of Amazon stock back in 2005.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So nothing multiplies up as fast as crypto.
Now there's dudes that become billionaires off of that. I'm trying to think. There was one guy, I think he put in like 8,000, then he dropped another 8 or something like 16, 20. And the dude. I can't remember what crypto that was.
And crypto's been out for what?
Since 2012?
So it's hit
2009 technically. 2009 technically.
Oh, okay. So it's hit 11 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
But see, the other mistake that people make is they always think about, well, shoot, if I had bought it in 2009, I'd be rich. But I missed it.
You haven't missed it. You just got to wait for the next 10 years.
Yeah, it's the same.
And not only that.
You just got to get in the game.
Let's say you bought it for 10 cents. Would you have sold it at $50? Would you have sold it at 100?
Yeah.
What about 1,000?
Yeah.
You know,
once you see it winning,
imagining that you would have held till it got to 60 or 70,000 is insane.
And then another important thing.
Nobody would do that. Nobody. That if you got in for that low, you would have been out at like $80. You know.
Yeah.
But why do people feel they have to pull it all out? I don't understand. Like why can't
like
you?
Even then, when it gets to 10,000, you pull more out, right? You know, there's no way that you hold on to all of it, or even a significant amount.
You do if you believe it's going to keep growing,
right? That's true.
I guess, but that's too easy to say, knowing what we know about Bitcoin.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe, I don't know.
I'll just keep holding it.
To kind of answer both Emmett and Joe on that. Maybe, I think, like if you, let's say you hypothetically get to the point where you have $4 million in crypto, let's just say hypothetically, would you pull out 2 million or 1 million to enjoy life? So I think to answer
which is the answer that you would, or the answer is that you wouldn't?
I think to each their own to some degree, well, but as we're sitting here and
I would pull, yeah.
Probably pull out a little bit and live. Right. Which is what you were kind of saying.
Yeah.
You have some sort of goal. You have some sort of goal with what you're doing.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Another, I forget if it's Emmett or I that came up with this. I'm thinking it might've been Emmett. The other factor on the crypto thing. So even if you bought at $2,500, Ethereum goes up to $50,000, and then you sold out, you made $50,000 or 4,750,000.
Made a big old chunk of money.
You made a chunk of money, but then at that moment you're like sitting. You also had the other investments do well or whatever, and just say you're sitting on $100,000 just at that moment. Mm-hmm. At that moment, what you could try to maybe buy. You can't even buy a house, really.
No, where?
Yeah, cars are depreciating.
How much of them houses in Beaverton, man? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Way more than Vegas, dude.
Exactly. Right.
So then,
100,000 that you can't do nothing with.
So even let's say stocks, you could throw it in stocks, but then the mindset to say, I already pulled out of crypto. Why would I put it back in? But crypto is outpacing stocks, outpacing homes, outpacing everything. So even though you could take a look at, you pulled out 50,000 and then Ethereum already went up, but you could put it back in. Yeah, sure. You could have had.
Is that a starting over situation too?
I think the mindset, a lot of people think of that, but it's not. You shouldn't.
You're starting from the same place the minute you put it back in.
That's how I think you should look at it.
Okay.
That's a lot of people
That's
fail.
what it sounds like.
A lot of people fail to think like, oh, I pulled it out. I need to quit. I'm done. Like, well,
I did that with Ripple and I was right. That's for the record.
So some of the crypto, because there's so many cryptos.
Yes.
There's so many cryptocurrencies.
I got
now,
to play the WSOP. I got to buy a car. Happy with my results.
But there's no other asset that multiplies as much as crypto, right? Or nothing is beating crypto. So you might as well just get back in crypto. I think that's a fallacy for many people when they've bought crypto, they sold, and they're like, oh, I already sold, I can't get back in. Like, no, get back in. You should. If you happen to sell all,
right? Yeah,
you want some.
That's not like it's not like gambling. Like you make a good bet, you get the money, and it's like, okay, I'm never going to do this again, because you could potentially lose. But this sounds like it's just a win-win situation.
Yeah. In my opinion, yes.
You invest in Liem coin, you're good.
Yeah, that's hilarious. When it comes to those, how do you pick which one too? So basically, Bitcoin and Ethereum that's like Jordan and LeBron. It doesn't get no better.
It's a great analogy.
And then the other ones, you have to do your homework and figure out, their returns and things like that. Okay.
I look at the white paper, what they're doing. The white paper is like a technical layout of how their blockchain works. Mm-hmm. I would read that. But I mean, I know a lot of people aren't technical. So I would suggest look at their Reddit community, look at their online community, look at their website, look at what press they have, but also look at their developing team. If that one's tough. GitHub has a number. GitHub is an open source cryptocurrency. If it's a good cryptocurrency, it should be open source. Mm-hmm. Go to GitHub, look at their developer count, compare that to Ethereum developer count, compare that to Bitcoin developer count. I feel I'm biased because I'm a software developer.
Got you.
But if you look at the history, if you actually look at the statistical numbers of developers in Ethereum or Bitcoin and you take that chart of developers and with the value, they actually match each other pretty good. It's amazing.
If you have those that are averaging 30 points, why would you want to go get something else that's averaging 15 or something like that just because you can?
Are you saying as in
just like like Jordan? You got Jordan, LeBron as Bitcoin and Ethereum.
No, because people want to buy the rookie cheap and hope that this rookie's going to put up a 100-point game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, gotcha. So that's the gamble. Some people want to buy that cheap coin, or they think it's a cheap coin, and hopefully it'll
start doing numbers like that. But still nothing has.
If you want to do it, you can split it up and go have a big chunk of the safe ones, and then play a little bit with whatever you want to.
And the other ones are more like you can trade them and they won't be the long-term investments. Is that kind of what it seems like?
Or
they possibly could be.
They could be.
But I mean, the other thing you might want to look at factor into is like, do they actually do something? Do they solve a problem? There's other coins. I mean, those two are the LeBron and the Jordan. But there's other things coming out. But there's a lot of shill coins, a lot of shit coins, and you want to do your research, like you said. Look at the team, look at their Discord, and all the other things, because there's a lot of information out there, Okay. But you want to, if you're looking at some of these, you want to actually do they actually do something? Are they going to solve a problem? I
didn't even think about
how can they be tangible to the rest of society, to the rest of the world?
Okay.
And Bitcoin, Ethereum, they serve a purpose. And there's other coins out there that aren't there yet that hopefully will, but that are actually looking to solve a problem and actually do something. And there's things out there that don't do shit, and everybody's hoping I can get in for cheap, catch the wave, and get out.
Okay.
So
and you have a few of those that you're just going to catch the wave. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So I've been telling some people, try to get about 90 to 95% of your portfolio of your crypto portfolio into Bitcoin and Ethereum, and then spend 5% on those darts. You're throwing some, hoping for some long bullseye. Just pick some other ones and throw whatever 5%.
Then you'll learn if it's worth it or not.
Yeah.
So you've got out of some. You've definitely got out of some cryptos, or you hold everything.
What's that one? Eternity,
EOS. Some of the, when the project, it looked like it was a good project, and then their developers or their team, whatever, fell apart. So then I pulled out of some of those.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's dope.
It's turned into a crypto talk.
Hey man, I learned more in that. You know what I'm saying? That's good. That's good.
All right. Next question. What's the biggest problem for humans, and what do we do to fix it?
The biggest problems for humans. What do we do to fix them?
No pressure.
Man, that's a huge question. That's that end of the world.
Yeah. Man. And it doesn't help. We're already over 3 hours. If you want to go quick, you can. If you want to go long, you can.
Man, I got to think about that one. What's the biggest problems for humans? Damn near want to say ourselves. Damn near want to say.
We could get rid of all these people.
Well, no, just it's kind of like your own. You know how people say like you are your own worst enemy. I don't know. Self-doubt, I don't know, the biggest, maybe not having enough belief in yourself, or having enough belief. Yeah, probably, I would probably say something like that. Because, self-esteem is one of those things that is huge. Suicide rates are going crazy. So maybe the biggest problem in humans is actually not believing in yourself and not loving yourself and not taking yourself seriously. What to do to solve that? I mean, I could go cliche and say, pray, believe in God, believe in something, a higher source than yourself. Yeah, I don't know. But that's.
Are we losing our religion and leading to higher suicide rates?
I don't want to say that. Yeah, I don't want to say that the people that are killing themselves don't believe in God or something like that. Who am I to say that? I don't know. But
I know I grew up Catholic boy, and in the Catholic Church, suicide is your ticket to hell. Right.
You're going straight there, no chaser. Yeah. Just the biggest humans' biggest problems would probably just be not believing in yourself and not loving yourself. Not because how you gonna love some other people if you don't love yourself?
Cool. Okay, sounds good. Next question: what's your favorite food or dish?
My favorite food or dish. I don't want to go cliche like I love chicken.
It's the heavy hitter questions here.
Do you love chicken?
I mean, it's all right.
We had like a 10-minute discussion about fried chicken or some shit.
It's all delicious, yeah.
You might get banned. You're going along the racist lines. You might get banned. YouTube.
I know, right? Just give me a big bowl of watermelon and some chicken.
Who doesn't like watermelon?
I mean, I guess you can say I like steak. I like steak. I like steak. I like seafood and stuff like that. So I would say maybe steak and lobster, surf and turf, or
like
something
a porterhouse. What kind of steak?
Yeah, porterhouse works. That works.
You got a favorite steak joint in Vegas?
SDK.
Nice.
All right.
SDK.
Final question. Shout out 2 friends that you think should do this podcast.
I'll shout out Verse the Legend. You know, my artist. He's and he's also an author. Very intelligent guy. And somebody else that should come do this podcast. They got to be down. See, Verse could sit down for 3 hours. So now I got to think who could sit down for 3 hours and want to rock out.
Hey, it flew by though. You didn't know you were down here for 3 hours.
Nah, yeah, not at all. You feel me? Because you know, like I said, y'all good people. I just keep it in house, man. Mozzie and Verse, man.
Awesome.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out Mozzie. Shout out Verse.
All right. We
Cheers
see
to
some
the
guys
end.
coming in.
Thank you so
That's
much.
what's up. Thank you for having me.
Pleasure.
Joe gone.
It's on the floor. Can you show a picture of his empty chair at the end of this podcast?
Man, thanks for having me, you guys. For real.
No doubt.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming through.